Volleyball fans, welcome back to the NBA Showcase 2020. We are about to go live here from the Utah Athletic Center as the Tennessee Tyrants get ready to face off against the Ontario MATADORS. Definitely excited to see this. There's a lot of implications here. Both of these teams are currently 1-1. So what we're really going to be seeing here is the winner of this match. Of course, pending how LA Blaze against the Utah Stingers pans out, the winner here is likely going to lock in second place with himself, with the loser taking third. So big win in terms of managing your schedule for the rest of the weekend.
What does that look like for tomorrow and Sunday moving forward between second and third?
Absolutely. So if you take second place, it's looking like an evening match on Saturday night. So you've got almost a full day of rest. And if you take that third place, you're starting off tomorrow morning playing the fourth seed from the other side. So right now, this is an American League match. You're going to be playing National League. We've now locked in that oh, we've actually got a little sideline report. Olivia, what do you got for us?
Super high confidence. I think these young kids needed that, just to know that they belong here. You know, because coming into this, I don't think they felt that. So that was really good for our confidence, and I appreciate their effort. I think they're working really hard.
Where did you find the will to win in those guys?
I think, so second set, we're down 24-19. Ian Cap he's a monster, man. He just has it in him, and I knew it was there. I was just waiting for it to come out. Came out at the right time. We ended up winning that set. That's a big momentum swing, and the sport's all about that. So I'm really happy for him, and I'm happy for our team.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck.
No problem. Thanks.
Nick?
Thanks so much, Olivia. So just to get back in a quick breakdown there. So Blaze is currently 0-2, and that's going to be Utah Stingers is 2-0. And so that's on the American League side. So the winner or the loser of this match goes third. And we know that the Southern Exposure now went 0-3 in the National League side. So that means that the loser of this match will likely square off against them tomorrow morning.
And that's a team that's very physical, very big, very athletic. Maybe not playing at their best capabilities quite yet, but I don't know if I'd want to play them first round in a single elimination knockout round.
I definitely agree. You know, I obviously just finished playing against those guys, and they were willing to go into their roster a little bit in that match against the Ramblers, and we'll see some guys, I think, coming out, and they were finding a couple pieces that were working that they hadn't really tried out this event yet. So definitely agree with your assessment there.
So in regards to this match, MATADORS here, this is their first match of the day. They won in 5 last night, I believe.
Yes.
Can you touch on maybe some of their highlights, who their key players are?
Yeah, so what we've seen a lot of success is they're actually running a 6-2 offense, meaning they're running, occasionally they're putting in setters to keep a setter opposite sub, So they do 2 subs at the same time, and they're keeping their setters back row. So we're actually seeing a lot of success from this team out of their opposite. Jair Santiago, number 15, definitely someone to keep an eye on. The other opposite has also been doing very well. Number 18, Vanderbeek, been doing quite a bit of work. But the real ringer for this team is going to be definitely number 2, Christian Encarnacion. That guy has absolutely been a dynamic monster for them. So want to keep an eye on him. Also the libero, number 11 for the Matadors. That's Jose Mulero. Does very, very well for these guys. He's got a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence to him, a lot of fun to watch. And so we've got another sideline take for the Matadors. Olivia, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. Coach, you split yesterday. What's the biggest thing that you're looking to do today?
Okay, we try win today. Vamos a tratar de dar el máximo para sacar este juego porque es bien importante.
So this is a key match, and we're going to try to do our best tonight.
What's it going to take specifically, a couple tangibles that you want to see from your team today?
¿Qué cosas en específico le gustaría ver en su equipo el día de hoy?
El trabajo en equipo. Entiendo que eso es lo fundamental para obtener la victoria.
So we just got to dial more in on the teamwork, because that's going to be the key, a really key fundamental to win the game.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Nick?
Awesome. Thanks so much, Olivia. And that's definitely, you know, Michael Bastida, the coach over there for the Ontario Matadors. He's got a wealth of experience as a player himself, and he definitely knows how to get the most out of these guys. And if you haven't seen them play yet, the Ontario Matadors, they are an absolute powerhouse young team, but they're very emotional, so that's been very, very good for them. But it's also been a bit of their downfall. So we'll have to see how well they're able to manage that. And this is going to be a battle of young guys, and definitely excited to see it. A lot of pin battles going on. I think the middles here are not as big of factors on either one of these teams, but we did see a lot of success with the blocking earlier today for the Tyrants.
Yeah, we did see some consistent blocking from the Tyrants, a little production out of their middles on the quick attacks. But when you look at the physicality of these two teams comparatively, I think you're going to see the Matadors look to be much bigger, much more physically athletic, and a little bit more imposing, right?
Yeah.
The Tyrants, though, we saw this earlier, size doesn't always tell the story. Those guys, 2 guys on their team scored 22 points each. That's major production. Can they repeat that? It's only been about 3 hours since they finished that last match.
Yeah.
They're going to need the same production, if not maybe a little bit more, to win this one too.
I mean, and just to build on top of that, we watched Ian Cap hit 9 aces. That is for sure an NBA record. 9 aces in one match is absolute insanity. And those, 4 of those were back-to-back to back-to-back.
I think twice. Didn't he have 2 runs?
I think so, yeah.
4 in a row?
It was...
I think he did.
It was impressive to say the least.
It was. And he gave a good insight. He said he picks his spot and he just goes back and rips it. And it paid off for him.
It's funny. It was one of the most simply innocent and insightful things. He's just like, I find where I want to hit it, and I hit the ball hard. And if you were watching that match, nothing could be more true.
That's absolutely true and correct. That is what he said, and that's exactly what he did, and it worked. So it's a philosophy that's working for that player and that squad. Absolutely, and I think what made me really laugh was in the post-game interview with Olivia, he was saying, you know, well, I'm just out here to do my best. I'm normally a setter or a libero, and this is my first time playing outside. I'm going to guess. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it wasn't his first time ever playing outside hitter, but it might be early on in his outside hitter career, but so far he's doing pretty well with it. Very well could be the case. I forgot to add that he also has played right side, so maybe he just combined his libero skills with his right side experience and says, you know what, I'm an outside hitter now. But we also saw some unique things in rotation that put Cap, instead of playing middle back as an outside hitter, put him in right back. And so when he was in that right back defense, there was a couple times that he was able to set out when number 1 for them, their setter, Ryan Kenny, was digging the first ball. It gave them a second set of hands that was setting balls to the outside pin. And, you know, we saw Jake Milnaziak out there just continuing to produce. So yeah, and they've made a couple of changes here with their starting lineup, and I didn't get a chance to see the Matadors play yesterday as I wasn't here, but Nick, you did. Do you see the same starting squad out there, or is what do you got with their lineup?
So right now we're seeing a lot of similar faces, but some slight changes. So we've seen them splitting setters, and Jesus Serrano has not been their starting setter, but he and Jair Santiago has been the duo that they've been subbing in, but they are going to go ahead and start the match with these two. I think well-deserved based on how they've been playing. The new face out here is number 6 for them. That's Diego Bustos. He's been playing quite a bit, but he has not been starting outside. So it'll be good to see Bustos play. He's been playing well in the second half of the match when he subbed in yesterday. Obviously, Christian Encarnacion is an absolute stud and was killing yesterday, so no surprise there. And over here on the side of Tyrants, like you said, a little bit of a different roster, and we'll get into that as the match kind of goes on here. We're actually seeing both Cap and Jake Namaziak on the bench.
And the center.
Yep, new setter here, so totally different look, and love to see how these guys develop. Big hybrid serve coming out there from Serrano.
It appears to be that there's two consistents with the Tyrants players as far as the last match that we just watched. Middle blocker number 8, and then also the libero, number 5.
Yep,
Ryan Alu.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually did see number 6, but he was playing right side there, so he's going to be playing the outside role this time.
That's correct, yep. So Matador's off to a nice start. You saw a good quick attack, first option quick from that first side out. And a few missed serves here.
That's going to put Bustos on the back line. Easy roll shot, keeps it alive, but that's going to put the Tyrants right in system. Big swing out. And, definitely eager to see how Dan Nugent, number 10, does today. He was the starting 0-2 yesterday, and he was playing okay, but became a target, and that's where they were looking for a new option, and that's when Cap ended up getting switched over to the outside. They tried a couple guys on the bench, had no success, so maybe Dan gets a night's rest and finds a different look today.
Yeah, we talked about this. We've been talking about it all day, sort of personnel management. Guys, there's going to be, this is their last match of the day for the Tyrants. They're at least going to play 2 matches tomorrow.
Yep.
Well, I take that back. I'm sorry. At least 1, and that's the one that you want to win, because if you lose tomorrow, you're done.
Right.
So this match might dictate who they play tomorrow. They might know that already, and so maybe they're trying to be a little strategic on who's playing, who gets some rest, because they're looking at the bigger picture and the more important money round games tomorrow. Absolutely,
and especially when you've got smaller guys that are relying on their athleticism, you can't go burning them out on every single swing, but that's Jair Santiago absolutely shutting down Dan Nugent on the outside, and that's what happens when you swing into a 6'10" opposite.
Yeah, that was a well-formed block. He's a big boy, gets up over the net, and says, not that time.
We're going to see a set go back here, and a late soft block touch attempt there from number 8, Lazaro Fernandez. Lazaro's been playing quite a bit for this Matadors team, so that's no new face there. This is a pretty standard roster that we've been seeing from the Matadors, but they are not afraid to go into that bench. That is for sure.
They've got a lot of guys on their bench. Looks like their team's pretty deep.
Oh yeah. Big swing. I mentioned it yesterday, but Jair, he's a big guy, and in the offseason, he's been doing his best to stay in shape, and he's cut a bunch of weight, actually. He's still a big dude, but that's helped give him a bit more side-to-side mobility. When I was playing with him about a year and a half ago, he didn't have that much mobility, and it's great to see him moving much more laterally and giving himself a lot more range. Big swing. Bustos unable to come up with that dig.
Great pass from the libero again, carrying over his consistency from the first match. He had a 91% pass rating, which means that he passed the ball up to the net to give his setter 3 or 4 setting options throughout that entire match earlier. So he's he started off right where he finished in that last match.
We were talking about him, but to hear the numbers is sheer insanity. And that's going to be number 3, Mitch Whiskerchin, unable to come up with that one. That's a smart play by the outside there. That's Christian Encarnacion. He goes between a jump serve and a float serve, so he's going to start off with a short float, but I don't think that's the look you want to go. Short to that libero on Tyrants is not the way forward, and he absolutely punishes it there.
I don't think coach is going to be happy with that serve, and if I were the coach, I would definitely let my guy know that that's not what we're trying to do with that serve.
Yes. Especially with that, you know, the serving or the passing we've seen over there from the Tyrants. That's not going to cut it.
Wow.
Jair, he's been an absolute threat. So when we were talking earlier today about the right side threats in the league right now that are looking quite impressive, he's not one to be overlooked
I
for
think
sure.
that might be the heaviest ball I've seen hit all day.
Yeah.
And we're 13 points into this first set of this match.
Yeah.
So.
Decent pass by Dan Nugent. Big swing from the backside and making sure that he answers back. That's going to be number 2, Dante McCoy.
Touche, Dante.
Wow. I love it. We're seeing a lot of D-balls this weekend, and I love seeing the aggressive swings out of those big guys on the right side.
See a nice battle forming between these two opposites, and they're overhead attacking.
It's interesting, the two smallest opposites off the top of my head in the league are definitely Dante's one of the smaller ones that we've seen, as well as the right side on Team Freedom this morning when we were watching. He was a smaller guy, but he was absolutely balling out.
Well, Dante looks like he might be a little on the shorter side of the opposites, but he's definitely going to be physical.
That's a huge block, a bit of a trap set there, but you know, Diego Bustos really did a good job getting over the net, and he took away the ball. What that means is a lot of players, sometimes they try to take away an area on the court, but right there, that ball was so tight that he got over and just grabbed that ball, so there was nowhere to go with that swing.
Yeah, definite trap set, but better block move from the Matadors on that one.
There's a net call there. It looks like on the turn, number 1, Martin Patrice is going to be in the net there, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty feisty on the net calls around here. I mean, there's 2 referees, up ref, down ref like normal. They see him, but a lot of these guys are like, no, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. I mean, it's like, okay, you netted.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to argue about it. Let's just go to the next play. And
it was you or the guy next to you, so.
Some of that lateral mobility you were talking about there from Jair. He almost got, that's how you duck, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a missed serve, though, for number 6 there, Eddie Kiesicker.
Watch out, ref.
Well, apparently they didn't like that call with the net, and we see a card coming out. You know, if you hit the ref with a shot like that, he might take that personal.
It was about to give him a card, but I think that was all in good fun.
Oh, all in good fun indeed.
I don't think they're purposely trying to aim for the ref quite yet, but there's still a long way to go in this match.
If they get a couple more of those net calls, maybe. High swing into the deep corner, Encarnacion. That's the physicality you were talking about just a couple minutes ago. You know, he's going to get up and swing into that deep corner.
Yeah, that was clearly over the top of the block and into the sharp angle.
Yep, now we got Patrice back to serve. He's going to go with that short float. Once again, this is going to get punished. Dan Nugent goes up, swings, uses a chisel, and game ball touch. Thank you for saving my face. My hands were not ready to defend that one. But, you know, if we've seen anything over the last 2 matches, you do not serve the Tyrants short and hope to get a good result out of it. They take care of it. They see it going short, and they're in system.
It's one of their better attributes is their passing. It has not been a weakness from these 2 matches that we've watched from them, so they need to reevaluate that strategy with the short serves.
Yep. Right now, if I'm picking up a strategy, I'm going after the front row outside, whoever it is, seeing if we get one of them to crack, but otherwise make them pass a ball before they hit. Plain and simple.
And guess what? Don't serve the guy with the other color jersey. That is his job. He is the best passer on the team.
Yeah.
Don't serve him. Simple as that.
But I mean, hey, that orange tiger look for him, maybe he's a tiger stalking and they don't see him coming, but.
I'm going to date myself here, but they do remind me of the old University of Pacific Tigers jerseys from back in the day up in Stockton, California.
Not too old. I mean, that was 2011, 2012. There's a net once again, though. Yep. Some physicality there, but we want to see a little bit more connection there out of Ryan Adams, number 19, the middle blocker. It was a good attempt on that, but didn't quite connect. A little bit of a paintbrush and had some backspin on that one.
A little frustration on the Matador side there about giving that point away after a hitting error.
Yep. A huge swing out from the outside there with Encarnacion. I was waiting to see if there was any net call or under call there, but the call was that the ball was down first.
That was a big hit. A single blocker. I think the middle jumped on the opposite team, so it's a little bit of a...
Good pass on the short ball, goes back for the D, rolled in, kept alive there. This is going to be a set from the libero, going to the back row. Encarnacion finds it, and he's got a triple block, but unable to pull it out. Float once again, goes short. This is a better look. Dan Nugent goes to the outside. Eddie Kiesicker misses his target there. And we're gonna have a timeout coming in. Now we're talking about serving short not being the best way. The one caveat I will address is that is a great serve short because you're putting the ball over the head of the setter. So even with a good pass, he's got to find that ball and locate it coming over his left shoulder. And it's going to limit his options severely for who he's going to be able to find offensively.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Nick. Pulling that back row hitter up front short, making the ball pass over the setter's head from essentially behind him, and then setting the ball out front resulted in a little bit of a not ideal set location, which it resulted in a hitting error.
Yeah,
and so
it ended up not being a great set, and the middle wasn't really even settable at all. So it's. That's a heads-up play. I'm okay with that serve. I like that look a lot more. Dan Nugent, though, might be able to kind of get them out of this with an aggressive pass.
If I'm the coach, I'm having my guys move up a little bit, take a step forward. You can tell if he's going to serve short and take the ball with your hands, pass it overhead, and get that ball up to the net so you can set quick. And if I'm the middle, get into the middle of the court faster and be available.
Yep. He decides to go with deeper hybrid there. It's a good ball. And we see Ryan Allen up early and he's able to attack and get the ball there.
Yeah, well-formed play right there. Nice side out of the middle, quick attack.
It's going to be a serving sub with number 14. That's Peter Namioko coming in. And we've seen Peter play quite a bit here as the starting right side this morning. He plays some solid back row defense, so definitely someone to keep an eye on as a serving sub here if he can extend some rallies. It's a good serve. It's going to be a tight pass. Goes to the outside, and Bustos swings wide, unable to find that ball there. Up ref overrules the down ref calling a net. It was looked like it was Bustos landing in the net. So that's going to be that big physical block we were seeing earlier today with number 8, Race Munger. He's back in there, and that guy goes pin to pin pretty well, so we'll see if he's able to make some moves like that again. Good pass. A little low, but that's a big dig right there. We just got an up. Well, that was impressive to say the least. We got a little one-on-one action over here with the side with setter Mitch Whiskerchen as he got up and close and found our camera, but on the left side of the court, we were able to get a huge block out of Eddie, and that's Munger over there. So that was a huge double block. Yeah, we're good. We might hear about it from the guys in the van that our camera's been adjusted, but not only did Mitch hit the camera, he adjusted it before running back onto the court. That's going to be a tight ball here, and called for a lift. Unable to pull that out of the net clean.
That was a nice dig by the libero for the Matadors, but kind of just took their time and waited for it to come out of the net. Just couldn't get a good play on it. And getting some nice serving run here from a role player. And jump serving off the bench. And I jinxed him.
Yep, that's the play-by-play jinx.
My bad, sorry.
He won't know until he watches this back later, so we've got some time.
Okay.
But I mean, we saw him come in, he gets 2 serves, he gets that dig back there and extends that rally just like we were talking about, and he buys the Tyrants some time.
Exactly, he did exactly what his team needed him to do. Produced a couple of points, went on a nice service run and got him closer into the scoreboard.
That's a big set. Honestly, I really do like the way that set led him inside a little bit more with that double block formed, but he turned it just a little bit too much, ball tailed and missed it wide.
Again, I'm going to look at the blocking versus hitting matchups right here, and I think I want to set to the left side. There's a smaller 5'11" blocker out there for the Matadors. Let's challenge him.
Absolutely.
Know your matchups.
Yep, Whisker Chen goes a little bit too far outside there, and he gets used on his outside hand.
There's a 5'11" blocker out there. Set your 6'6" hitter.
There it is.
Can I get a little credit for that one?
Yeah, you get some credit for that one. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, we always talk about if you get a coach point. I feel like that's the broadcaster point, right?
Yeah, we definitely need our own scoreboard over here.
Big swing on the outside there from Bustos. Touched, and that's a back one attack from Munger. Nice up by the libero, and he always loves to do something with that. Yeah, that's a great set. Back in system, though, for Tyrants, and they find a big swing. Once again, this guy is absolutely an animal. That is 2 in a row that the libero over there, Jose Malero, is able to put up great balls for his team to take a swing at. And I think that surprised even his right side over there, number 16. He was not expecting that.
Got a lot of fire coming from the Matador side.
They're a physical, loud group, and I mean, I can hear them through our headsets here. They are absolutely riled up, and they love to support their boys.
Team players.
Absolutely. That's a good set going backside. Oh. That's a big swing down the line. And that's going to count. Everyone's contesting in or out, but they get that and get an immediate call from the line judge in. You know, you talk about when we talk about supporting their guys, it's really a culture thing. I've talked about it a little bit yesterday, but the Matadors are very, very prevalent on social media, and they are very clearly, they work very hard to make that family atmosphere as a group, the way they train, the way they practice, and you know, it really comes out when they're game time. And when you got 12 guys on the bench, that's a lot of people cheering.
I was going to say it looks like 3 dozen, but 12.
That's a great cover ball there from the Tyrants, able to pull that out of the net. Jair Santiago goes for the off-speed swing. Mitch with a dig. Great bump set here, and Dan Nugent takes a big swing. That's going to be a bump set outside. Soft block, and they're chasing it here. Mitch finds a great touch. And as far as I'm concerned, that's live. I'm surprised they're cutting that off.
That was a wonderful effort, a wonderful effort.
Little discussion about where that was occurring, but
unfortunately just ran out of a little real estate over here, and maybe there's a white line painted on the floor that they're not allowed to pursue past on this side of the court.
All I can tell you is I'm glad the camera was not live on us, because I was doing a full flinch and react.
Me too. I was about to get behind you, so that you took the brunt of that one.
Yeah. I appreciate the selfless act.
And we've got a timeout called by the Tyrants to try to regroup here a little bit, maybe kind of begging a little too much. That was a nice effort by them that didn't go their way. But maybe a couple little tweaks here on maybe setting location, understanding the matchups on who's blocking against their hitters right now. They're only down by 3. They still got some time to, you know, make a nice run here, side out, put some pressure with their serve, and see if they can at least draw it close or tie the game and take it into maybe a couple extra innings here to steal this first set.
Absolutely, and one of the things that it's kind of interesting to see team culture in terms of how it develops. Like this team, we don't see that, you know, Cap or Jake Milnaziak on the outside for the obvious go-to hitters, but there is still great defense being played.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're extending rallies, still finding the touch blocks there. They're getting, you know, a lot of touches in the middle of rallies. So I think they're kind of just 1 or 2 steps away from finding how this lineup scores a little bit more consistently.
Yeah.
And they're right back in this.
Yeah, and you have to have a lot of good defensive heart, you know, and prowess to constantly be ready to dig and then pursue, and just, you know, defense wins championships, as they always used to say. And it is true. I mean, the team that digs more balls is going to have more chances to score points.
Yep. And that's a big swing from the outside. Dan Nugent getting it done. We're talking about being able to side out. And once again, I do want to critique your I think that was a float serve at the libero. Ryan Alu, I've been messing his name up, I'm sure. I should probably ask him how to say that. But, you know, Ryan, putting him on his platform is just not the way to go. You should be serving those outsides.
Yeah, both of these, this is a little bit of a really high-level libero match here between these two liberos, and I wouldn't serve them at all.
There's one good swing from the outside, opens up the overpass and allows for a big swing in the middle there. That's going to be number 1, Martin Patrice, getting that kill there. Patrice is on the back line now, hits that float serve, goes deep, handled easily, goes to the outside, and Dan Nugent gets blocked, but he's covered up by his teammates, and he's going to send the ball back. We're getting a free ball coming over. Aggressive set there, one-handed, and that's that connection I was talking about with Serrano and Santiago there. They just go 1-2.
Yeah, you're seeing the familiarity with playing together as a group. It was a free ball. You know they're on the same page as far as what kind of play they want to run when they get that free ball across the net. You saw it there with a little bit of a back lob, the opposite. And that's something that only comes with over time and practice.
Yep. And then we were seeing number 8, Lazaro Fernandez, unable to quite get out there. So he was looking for a soft block touch, but not quite able to find it. So no dig pops up in the back row.
Yeah, you see the Matadors doing a 2 libero system right now, and have put number 10 in to get a couple of reps here and keep him fresh.
Yep. And this is the first time I think Danel Calvente, actually I believe Calvente has come in as a serving sub for them once or twice before. Yesterday they were running their double libero system. They were using number 7 Mario Mesa as their second libero. So a little different look for them here today.
Use what you got.
Yep. Big jump serve, and it's going to go long, though. Jair unable to keep that one live. Dan Nugent on the back line. Aggressive toss, swing, and he's able to find that. That's a great up by the libero, and Santiago swings down the line, Doug. And not a great bump set there, but it's got to be free balled over and not handled well. And that's a heads-up play, though. Eddie Kiesicker sees where the defense is and is able to just put it right back into open court.
Yeah, smart to not just take a big swing at that. They've got a front row setter over there for the Matadors, so he would have been a sneaky little block right there.
Yep.
Good choice by Eddie.
That was a pretty impressive there touch by Calvente to find that lip.
Started with a nice dig from Allen.
But he's going to overpass that one, and we're going to see it going to the outside. And Eddie Kiesicker gets blocked, but easy reset. Now it's going to the backside D-ball, high ball off touch. Set goes over, and that's going to be needing to go on this one. That's 3. Jair with a decent touch, and then once again trying to sweep the block, but gets blocked back, and Kiesicker on the outside, swung, dug by the Matadors. That's going to go to the D-ball. Santiago swings low into the net, unable to connect. Another big rally here. That's a good-looking one.
I think, you know, we see some heart from the Tyrants, these longer rallies that they tend to win because they have their guys are selling out and working hard. Not that the Matadors aren't working hard. They are, absolutely. But the longer rallies, the keeping the ball in play, the smart heads-up play is something that the Tyrants do.
Wow.
Get a chance with an ace there.
Dan Nugent, like I said, I really wanted to see him come out and do well, but I wasn't expecting that. I mean, when you're down 2 points, there's one thing to be said for not missing your serve, letting your team play, but that is an aggressive toss, and he is going after that serve.
Yeah, that was a nice serve. It's game point for the Matadors. Nugent's not holding back. He's got the green light. He's going for it. He's taking full advantage of the opportunity that he has, and it's paying off with that ace right there.
And like we said, you know, that has been one constant we've seen with this Tyrants lineup. No matter who's in, they are looking for aggressive jump serves.
Yeah, absolutely. That team relies on their jump serves. We saw it earlier, and they're going to continue to do so. It's one of their major weapons. They've got to score from the inline.
I think it's also it highlights, you know, the fact that these guys all kind of came from a similar organization, but the fact that they've already established that as a team identity in a matter of weeks or less than a month is impressive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, team culture, kind of their pillars of what they're trying to do, service pressure from the inline, quality, high-level passing percentages, and strong outside attack hitting.
Absolutely. It's been working so far, so we're gonna see how that develops as we continue here, but they're trying to steal a game one away here. Unfortunately, Nugent unable to handle that one, but that, honestly, I don't have an issue with that. When you're down 3 points going onto the back line, you've got to put the pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, he got him back into the game with that, but, that toss was not where he wanted it.
No.
You set yourself up a little bit for failure when you don't give yourself that good toss when you're jump servicing.
Absolutely, and, it's a tough spot to be in, but, I think they were riding some pretty good momentum at the end of the match, so the big focus there is for the Tyrants to keep focusing on that, see where they're at, and might find them some success early in the game,
I think a good takeaway is that they were down by 4 or 5 points there. They brought it back to 1 or 2 points.
Right.
So they're not afraid to play from behind. They know that they can score points from their service game, and they know that they're going to get great passing and great blocking and good defense. So they get some chances to score those points in transition, those longer rallies like we talked about, which they got. And I think they're gonna see now. They've seen the Matadors. They know what they're gonna do. They've shown them their cards, and now they can tweak their game a little bit and hopefully respond a little bit better out of the gates.
Yeah, and something that's going to be pretty interesting to see here is that's been more or less the starting Matadors lineup, and that was definitively not the starting lineup from the Tyrants.
Right. Yeah, that's very interesting. I don't think we're going to see the same lineup from the earlier match for the Tyrants.
Right.
I think those guys are just going to probably rest up today.
Yep.
The group that's on the floor for the Tyrants, they produced. They held their own. They stuck in there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make any changes if I were either coaches, to be honest.
Nope. Let them play it back and keep some confidence. Especially that's why in a tournament like this you go to your bench and you get some new faces out there. You want your players to get experience and confidence, so that if they need to come in and play during those big games, they've been there before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's we've been saying it all day. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Tomorrow and Sunday are the important games. These ones, let's work out the kinks, figure out our best lineup, figure out what kind of system we're going to run, and what the focus is, and go from there and get ready for Saturday and Sunday single limb tournament.
And we're seeing it's going to be one change on the side of the Tyrants here, and we're going to see a little bit. I think this is an offensive change. We're going to see Thomas Burrell coming in over there from Unger in the middle. We've seen all of those guys can block quite well out of the middle, so Thomas Burrell was very, very offensive this morning, and honestly, he's got the kind of swings that get your team fired up too.
Yeah.
Sometimes a point is a point, and sometimes when you can do a little bit more and get everyone excited,
totally agree.
There's some more value there.
Athleticism-wise, I think that's an upgrade for the Tyrants, and probably get a little bit more point production out of these two middles versus the ones that played earlier, and also that first set. So we'll see if their passing holds up, which it has been very consistent. They can get some more first option quick, and some maybe quick in transition as well. Get some of those points scored a little bit faster up on the scoreboard.
Yep. And I think we got a little feedback from Olivia during that timeout. What do you got, Olivia?
Yeah, Nick, over on the Tyrant side in that huddle, they said we just missed 6 serves. We need to clean that up, but we're hitting pretty well. So if we can also add a couple blocks, that's going to be a game changer. On the Matadors side, they said we lost 3 points at the end in there just for losing control. So they're just looking to kind of regain composure and be themselves to start this match off.
Makes a lot of sense, and then we saw that all unfolding live. And now what we're going to see, though, is Matadors, just like I mentioned earlier, how they run those 2 different center opposite lineups. We're going to see them go into the other one. So that's going to be Kevin Rodriguez having the new setting hands back there, and that's going to bring Vanderbeek in for the opposite. So a good pass with a one-handed set, but Allen unable to connect there.
Yeah, interesting move. So we've got 2, Vanderbeek and a new setter for the Matadors. Also, number 17's in the front row. Number 9, he's getting some time. Interesting to see new guys come in after you just won the first set.
Yeah, it maybe tells me that, as a coach, that they're confident no matter their lineup that they're going to find a win. And since they're a game up, they want to give those guys a chance to play. Vanderbeek there coming up with a block, and that's what we saw. It was so impressive to me when I was watching him early on. He's been very disciplined with his hands throughout this tournament, and he's found a lot of good block touches.
Yeah, he looks like a good-sized opposite. He's going to be able to block some balls, produce some scoring point opportunities, and deflect some attacks from the opponent's side.
Definitely be interesting to see how that all goes, and see also kind of what the strategy is here for Matadors. But that's a big swing on the back side there for it's going to be number 6. That's Eddie Kiesicker.
Got to make sure we see the new matchups as well. versus hitters versus blockers, and who's lined up against who, because that's going to play a role in this second set.
Yep, and this is the first. Wow, that's a great cover, and huge dig over here on the side of the Tyrants. Mitch sets it outside, and Dan looks for the tip into the middle of court, easily covered by the libero for the Matadors. Big swing, but that goes long. No touch and no court.
There it is again. We talked about it. We've got a great dig from number 5, the libero for the Tyrants. Puts the ball over the net, gives the Matadors a chance to swing for a point of transition, but they hit it out.
Yep.
And so that scrappiness and that heart from the Tyrants, it shows again there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing I'm going to be interested to see here. Number 9, the second outside, that's Anthony Robinson for the Matadors. Anthony has not played yet at all this tournament, so coming in as the 0-2, I'll be curious to see what Anthony contributes. It's a good pass high in the middle of court, and Dan Nugent with an aggressive swing, but he was a little late to that ball and didn't really have anywhere to go with that. So Ismail Alomar is going to let him know that's just not going to get over the net.
It was a well-formed block. He's a big boy there
Yeah.
for the Matadors. Maybe not the best swing of Nugent's day so far.
Pass gets sprayed. There's a net there, though. The Matadors once again not being disciplined enough to stay out of the net.
Yeah, Matadors let them off the hook. The passing has been a touch tight for the Tyrants, forcing their setter to make some very uncharacteristic setting choices, resulting in some errors. That helps.
Yep. When you've got that's a different look than we've seen, though. Is they've got let's see, that's number 19. That's Ryan Adams going back there and hitting a float serve, a look that we don't really see much from the Tyrants.
Yeah.
And that's that confidence that I was talking about now, where he just walks it off after a perfect dime pass.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth by him. He got a little kiss off the trickler there, and was able to just sort of almost yawn while he passed it.
Yeah.
It was so easy, and a quick middle attack kill for the point.
Alomar with an easy roll shot, handled easily by the Tyrants, goes to the middle, and that's the explosive middle attack we wanted to see when the substitution comes in there with number 18. That's Thomas Burrell. He really handles his cutback well.
Yeah, we're starting to see some good physical play out of the middles on both sides. That was a nice turn back, cut back attack from the middle, and a lot of quick offense establishing their middles in that fast attack.
Good pass by the Matadors, goes inside for the lob. And once again, you know, if there's no ceiling in here, I think that stays on the side of the Tyrants. Maybe
it definitely
not,
stays inside the court.
It's inside the court. That's
Yeah.
a better assessment there.
Yeah.
But once again, number 5, Ryan Alu, just standing in there.
Yeah, he's not afraid. You know, I mean, he's doing a great job digging anything that comes his direction and passing. Yeah, just need, you know, open air ceiling. Well, I think it's starting to rain outside up here in Salt Lake.
Yep, yep. High ball from Dan Nugent. Looks, he's got a triple block coming his way, and I don't love the location there, but I think the decision was correct. And Encarnacion looks for a little swipe, but there was no block to be found, so instead he just kind of threw that ball out of bounds. You really got to make sure you see the blocker before you go with that hit selection.
Yeah, maybe try to disguise it a little bit longer before you just
go run and
throw wide with the open hand slap tip.
That's a good pass on his way back, though, and he goes for the big swing. That's what he does well, though. That's his bread and butter, is that big swing into the angle.
Yeah, good rebound there. I mean, it all started with the pass. You got 3 guys coming in hard, looking for the set. It's a nice high, hard angle hit for the point.
Encarnacion with a short serve float. Handled well, and that's just going to turn into a swing for Thomas Burrell. Touch is seen by the refs, and Mitch goes for a dump. It gets touched. Easy recovery here by the Tyrants. They go to swing, and Burrell goes with a wrist away, thumb down, swing. Then Thomas Vanderbeek gets a D ball, but that's lipped by the libero there. Free ball by Burrell over to the side. Libero for Matadors picks it up. Middle attack blocked, and that ball goes down. Big stop by Burrell in the middle.
Can't argue with the effort from the Tyrants. Again, I've kind of been saying it a little bit this match after watching their first one. They don't stop playing. They scrap. You know, they sell out for each other. They get the ball over the net. They give themselves another chance on block and defense, and it pays off for them.
You know, it's so true. And, you know, if you're one of those players at home that you are trying to find your way and how you're going to help your team out, This is a team full of players that are a little unorthodox, but they are absolute all-stars for this roster. And this is a team to watch and be a fan of if you're trying to find out how you can involve yourself, you know. Undersized, whatever it might be, these guys put the effort out there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to call them underdogs or, you know, stay away from the stature part of it.
Right.
Agreed. If you're an undersized outside hitter or undersized volleyball player, there is a place for you on the court. You got to find it.
That's a middle attempt there. They get stopped by Ismail Alomar, once again showing a very disciplined block.
Yeah, I think that's what his second block so far in the set.
Yep.
So he's making an impact along the net there.
Float serve handled by the Tyrants, goes to the backside, and that's a chop down the line, but it's going to be once again drawing the Matadors into the net.
Well, unfortunately for number 17, he's gotten a couple blocks, but he's also been in the net a couple of times.
Yeah, can't do that.
It's almost a wash. We want to be able to stay clean on our block and defense and block the ball back down to the floor without violating the net.
Yeah, and Dante McCoy there really with an aggressive approach kind of created that sense of urgency that they wanted to get the double block back there, and that kind of led to that net there, so he's pulling the foul. It's going to have a back row setter now, number 12, with Kevin Rodriguez. One-handed set outside, saved by the outside hitter there. That's McCoy.
Oh.
There's the one-handed Kong coming in.
Ryan Adams finds a little gift right there.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Makes a last-minute adjustment, drops his left hand back to try to get a deflection, and finds a full stuff-down block.
Yep. You want a good way to improve team morale. Not that it was low anyway, but that is a healthy way to keep everyone smiling.
Well,
big swing there on the back line. Vanderbeek returns and unable to find, oh, there it is. Yep, they find the touch there.
I'm enjoying watching the libero from the Matadors. Okay, he's 5'5". He's from Puerto Rico. He's bald, he's wearing pink shoes. Okay, he's got some swagger. And I realize he doesn't have to bend over to pass because he's already so short to begin with. But he's doing a great job. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's been holding it down for them all weekend long.
Not used to seeing a 5'5" libero, but you know, the angles that he passes at are a little bit different than a 6'8" outside hitter.
It's true. And now we've got a serving sub coming in. Ryan Adams, he got his licks in with that block, and they're looking to bring in a different look slightly on the back line with Matt Buff and one of their other middles. Good pass, Matadors go all the way outside. Encarnacion was early, but he was able to stop himself completely, get up and find the block tool.
Yeah, when you're as athletic as he is, you can be way early to the set location and still wait for it, jump, and swing at the same speed as if it was in system.
Yeah, I think he didn't see how far back his setter had to go to get his hands on that ball, and that's going to increase travel time there.
Agreed.
Ismail on the back line with an error there, sending that long. He's in a decent place, but we need to see him start reducing his errors a little bit, I think, because he's got some highlights for the team. But
yeah, offensively, and his blocking has been pretty good on point, although the missed serves and the touching of the net a few too many times.
Yep. It's a good pass, goes back, and they're looking for Vanderbeek. And Vanderbeek is blocked, and that ball finds the court. Dan Nugent alongside of Thomas Burrell.
Nice block by the Tyrants. I really would like to see a Matador player cover that ball.
Yeah.
Traveled all the way across the court from right side to left side. Someone can stick their arm out and try to play the ball instead of just watching it go by.
Definitely. Big swing from Dante McCoy, goes to the backside. And they're going to Vanderbeek once again. Dan Nugent loses it, but great move by Thomas Burrell.
Good effort.
Yep. Team never say die over here.
Right, and it's contagious. You know, one guy does it, comes up with the ball. The other guy does it, he might not get the ball that time, but he made the effort. That stuff carries over.
And I think what's impressive is not just a one-game thing. Every match, we're seeing them do that game in, game out. Vanderbeek with a good serve.
More like the scrappers.
Yep. It's going to go to the backside. Vanderbeek with a tip over the top, but that's going to be set back by Mitch. And that's McCoy with a chop. Very, very smart. Sees the blocker there, goes a little bit high there for Rafael Burgos.
Yeah, nice to see a little off-speed cross-body chop down by him, especially from the back row. You know, sometimes you gotta be able to change it up. change the speed. It's not always 110%. Sometimes, you know, you got to go 75, 80% and still score the point.
We might be in for a treat here. We got a serving sub with Mr. Cap on the back line.
Let's see.
Yep, in for a treat indeed. That's going to be let go, but a little surprising no call on that second contact. But you know what? The guys were ready for it. And number 6, Eddie Kiesicker, is on the front row. They're ready to pound that overpass.
Let's just talk about the serve. Off the bench, comes in, nearly scores another ace. Hasn't played in a set and a half. Comes right in and hammers a jump serve.
Again, earlier today, we were talking about role players. Even though he's an all-star for this team, that's a role player right now. His job is to come off the bench, and he's thriving.
Oh, that's a quick whistle on the double contact there from the 5'5" libero, and
that's going to force a timeout.
A little fast call in that timeout. I would have, but maybe trying to ice the server. I think that might be a good choice.
I think it's also with that 2-point lead right now as a coach, Michael Bastida really needs to figure out, is this a personnel change that needs to happen? We were kind of questioning after getting that first game 1 win. So are you trying to slow things down, get guys back involved, or, you know, what are you really looking to do here? And so I think they need to start developing a strategy how to win this game.
Yeah, I like that timeout. I think it's a little bit of both. But I think firstly, he's trying to ice the server a little bit. I think I saw him watching the game earlier, and he knows what kind of service runs this guy can go on. So he needs to kind of stop the momentum as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the NVA right now and you don't know if Cap's on the back line, how much respect you need to give him, I think you are a little bit out of the loop.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if he stays with his philosophy of picking a spot and hitting it hard, or picking a spot and hitting it not quite as hard since he's right after a timeout.
Well, I mean, if a game and a half not playing doesn't slow him down, we'll see if that timeout does.
I suspect it won't.
The ayah does not quite go that time.
No.
It's a good timeout from Coach Bastida over there.
Well, he's going to stay in, and let's see what he can do here. I think Nugent's getting a little bit of a rest.
Yep.
Drinking some water, catching his breath.
This is going to be a short float serve up by Encarnacion, and perfect pass by Cap. You know, again, I think that's a failure to understand the state of the game. Normally, I would agree you serve the guy coming off the bench. Cap is not the guy to be doing that to.
And not short like that. I would rather force him backwards.
Yeah.
Don't bring him closer to the net, shorter distance to pass. Push him backwards, or put some heat on the ball and make him pass a hard serve.
Yeah, especially because you know, a lot of people have been attacking the Tyrants with short serves, and they've handled it wonderfully all day. That's going to be a net by number 3, Mitch there, the setter for the Tyrants. It was the right idea, but just didn't quite execute what he's wanting.
Right idea, and unfortunately, a few too many passes have been tight like that for the Tyrants. They need to maybe just try to take a ball or two off of the net when they pass. Doesn't need to be that perfect.
Right. Even 10-foot line.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10 foot is okay too. I mean, they're still siding out at that good percentage wherever the pass goes. But if it's too close to the net like that, it puts themselves at a disadvantage.
Yep. Set goes to the middle, and there's a big touch. That's some great involvement there. So, you know, I'm actually realizing that they used Matt Buffum with the serving sub, and they didn't sub him back out.
Kept him in.
Yeah, they pulled, he and the libero swapped, but once we went back front row. So they look like they've actually swapped a couple players here kind of in a sneaky ways in their serving subs.
Yeah, I would maybe start thinking about a setting substitution perhaps. He's getting pretty frustrated.
Yeah.
That missed serve didn't really help. But we'll see. Got some time for that. See if he can right the ship.
Great ISO pass there, and we're going to go backside. And Eddie Kiesicker, you know, we talk about finding a way to consistently score, and Eddie has done a great job in the absence of some of the other guys on the court. He's really doing well swinging.
Yeah, good side out there by the Tyrants, and you see their coach having a word with the setter, trying to bring him back, kind of corral his thoughts, lead his team, and stay focused.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big swing, and I was actually hanging out with Mitch and Justin last night, and these two have a very, very good relationship, and Mitch is a very, very experienced player. So, you know, Justin just kind of getting him back down to the ground and leading this team. And That's going to be a one-handed set from Mitch, and just absolutely connects with Matt Buffum right there.
Well, that was a good play. I mean, again, pass was pretty high up to the top of the tape, but he was able to get it, extend, get that one-hand set to the quick for a kill.
It's been interesting to see. I don't think I've ever seen a team with, 3 or 4 middles that are all so good at different things, and the team uses them so effectively to do different things at different times.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Back set there. McCoy looks for a chop shot. Doug in the back row. That's going to be a set from the libero. That guy can absolutely bump set a ball. Good swing by Vanderbeek, and going back to the middle. And Burrell, that's a nice dig by the libero, or the setter over there. Free ball comes back. McCoy handles too tight. Mitch makes it happen. Thomas Burrell with the cut back once again.
Nice. Yeah, that was well played. I mean, that was a long rally. I thought I saw a net there on the setter for the Tyrants, but nobody else did, so I must be wrong.
Float here from Buffum. Set goes outside. Encarnacion finds a tip over the top. Mitch falling down, sets again. That's kept alive by Cap on the outside. Encarnacion once again, but that is a sealed block. Wow. Thomas Burrell is absolutely
officially going to change the name to the Tennessee Scrappers.
Yeah.
We got 2 guys on the floor, on their butts. Gets up in time to hand set outside, gets a good quality contact with it, and it comes back for a chance at a block and defense, and they score a point with a block.
Yeah, I still can't say it enough, and it's such a unique way that they use their middles. We are seeing so much production right now from a mid-game substitution, bringing in Thomas Burrell and Matt Buffum. Those guys are both absolutely producing right now, and I'm not seeing a way for the Matadors to stop that right now.
They are having a hard time trying to slow down the middles for the Tyrants, I think. But you know what? Both teams are having a hard time stopping the middles. You look at the Matadors, their middles are attacking at a very high efficiency, so are the Tyrants. I think you've got 2 teams that are passing the ball up to the net to a point where they can set their middles, and they want to, because they both have very dynamic and athletic middles to set.
Yeah.
Now maybe I could see a little bit more of a spread out the offense from the middle, so a couple 31s, maybe a back one, maybe a little push, kind of make each other move around a little bit to spread out that block and defense, and it might be a little bit more effective. Not that they haven't been effective to this point,
but might get them a little more involved.
But if it's a little bit more routine and just front one every time, eventually someone's going to catch on.
Right. Buffum with a good serve, but handled well by the Matadors, goes outside, and Encarnacion is their guy. He shows like he's going to that spot. We've seen him hit so much into the angle, and he turns and hits that high line swing.
Yeah, he jumps so high, he has time to look almost at what the defense is giving him and then adjusting to make the kill.
We're seeing Mario Meza come in as a serving substitution for Ismail, and that was something we were talking about. We want to mitigate the errors for Ismail, so Coach Bastida there is bringing a serving sub to get a different look. Chop from Cap, and we're going to be going over to the Matador side here. Big swing coming out from Encarnacion, and tools off of McCoy.
Smart high hit right there, attacking the line blocker. Didn't get his hand in the right position. Was able to tool that outside hand, just what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the first float serves I've seen go short that really gave the Tyrants a hard time.
Yeah, that was a smart choice. Again, going cross court, not so short that time, but same person.
And Thomas Burrell out of the middle once again, just.
Yeah, when both of these teams get a pass up to the net and they set quick, they're scoring points.
Yep.
You don't see a lot of miscommunications or a lot of blocks from the other team's middle blocker against a quick attack.
Yeah.
So feed the middles. Get those quick points.
Make them stop you. That's McCoy with a swing down the line. Encarnacion passes, goes back side to Vanderbeek, and Vanderbeek unloads down the line. And again, we're kind of seeing the firsts here. That's one of the first digs we see that doesn't come up.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. That was one of the first times I can remember where a ball coming to alley didn't get dug back to the court. It was a nice swing by Vanderbeek down the line. He was in the right position. It just maybe his shoulders were facing outside the court and he wasn't able to bring it back.
Yep. And we've got that double substitution occurring. So Santiago and Serrano on the court now. Santiago goes up one-on-one, but not able to get the touch. That's a really, really aggressive swing there from Cap. And that's going to send Cap to the back line, looking to finish out this game with a 3-point lead, 23-20.
Well, it helps that you got your best server at the end line right now and try to close out this second set.
Big serve, handled well, but Serrano's only option is to go straight up, and that's an Encarnacion tip. And they're looking for a net, but they're not. Oh, they are going to get it. Okay. That was on the way down. The Tyrants were unable to stay out of the net, trying to keep that ball off their side of the court.
Yeah, two blockers there kind of hanging and waiting to swat. It was a little bit too juicy and just unfortunately followed through and tickled the net.
Encarnacion with that float. Goes deeper here. Pulled out, and this is going to be a free ball over. They're going to have to go to a two-man defense here. I think, oh, he just gets back on the court. Big swing off the block. Good attempt by Burrell, but that's a great rally, and the Matadors doing what they need to do to take care of those free balls coming back.
Another great pursuit by the Tyrants there. Brought it back, gave them a chance at blocking defense to stop the ball. They got a good deflection. Back row defenders might have been just slightly out of place and weren't able to return that one. But,
yep.
You know, even at 23-22, they're still, you know, chasing down balls off the court, scrapping, just trying to do everything they can to get the ball, keep it up in the air and back over the nets to give themselves a chance to stop the ball.
Yep, and you know, it's really, really interesting to me to see how much confidence that the Matadors have going to a late substitution here. They want to make sure that they've got Santiago on the court. They want to keep their opposites front row, so they want to minimize the time they've got setters there. I really love seeing that. I think that's a heads-up play, and it speaks to the depth and quality of players that the Matadors have. That's just in their pocket, and they're ready to use it whenever it benefits.
And the awareness by the coach to be ready to get that done and throw in, and the confidence he has in his players to do the double sub as well.
Encarnacion going back, and this is going to be another float serve. See where he goes with it. Opts for in the net. That is not the location he's hoping for, but there's a coaching point.
Coaching point. Iced him. Jump float serve in the net. Give yourself a chance to block a ball. Don't just hand the team a point, especially for set point.
And on a float serve.
And on a float.
Burrell's looking for a float serve himself. Goes to the side. Encarnacion with a good pass. That goes outside. Tip over the top. Picked up. That's a huge play by Cap. He's able to keep that ball alive. Tipped over. And now it's an overpass from the Matadors on an easy ball. Unable to handle that. And Ian Cap there just absolutely playing out of his mind.
He is the MVP of these scrappers / Tyrants for sure.
Absolutely.
Throughout the day today. Came in off the bench, immediate ace, comes in, makes a difference, taking full advantage of the opportunity that's presented to him and helps his team get that win in that second set.
You know, and a lot of times you see players make token gesture moves, trying to kind of just follow after a ball. That's not the Tyrant way. We are seeing full committal. Earlier we saw Mitch, the setter, come all the way at us and almost take out a camera, and right there, Ian almost did it as well, but he was able to pull up short with his dive. I thought he was going right at it.
Yeah, I thought the camera was going to get hammered once again that time for sure, but great body control and athleticism. He was able to stay away from it and bring the ball back and, you know, win the set for him. So
and that was only 2 points after McCoy and I didn't see who the other person was, but chase it out the back of the court and avoiding the bench to pull another one out. And
yep, the scrappers. Okay, so if you're the Matadors, Nick, what do you do now?
Honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead and ride the same guys. I'm going to go back to kind of the starters that we saw them running yesterday. It's a lot of the guys we've seen here. We've seen a couple extra people, a little bit extra personnel. I'm going to shift away from them. I'm going to go, I want this win. And so I'm going to go back. I'm going to start Santiago and Serrano here. Vanderbeek's been playing very well. I'm going to look to, instead of starting Vanderbeek and Kevin Rodriguez, I think right now I'm going back to the Serrano and Jair start and ready to flip that as needed. But they need to find an answer as the 0-2. And I think that's what we're seeing here. They're deciding that Diego Bustos is going to be that answer.
I'd like to see them go back to the lineup from game one.
Yep.
I mean, this is a battle now. I mean, it's 1-1, so it's a best 2 out of 3 match. Okay. Yep. You knew that the lineup in game one was effective. Right?
Yeah.
Go back to it, see if you can get the same result, and then use it the rest of the way. Enough of this kind of bouncing around, throwing guys in, have a system, put your guys out there, do the double sub when it makes sense and you're able to do it. And keep doing what you're doing. You set quick, right? Work on your outsides, pass dimes like we're saying, and see if you can, you know, take away game 3 here and ride the momentum to game 4 and win the match.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think based on the personnel I'm seeing heading back out to the court, that's exactly what we're seeing is a return to that game 1. And that's going to put them right back in their comfort zone here. Now, what I was curious to see happen, and that's exactly what is happening, the Tyrants are going back to their boys. So we've seen that
some of them, almost. So we've got number 14 playing opposite, coming back into the game. He was a serving sub in game 2.
Yep.
But he produced really nicely in the last match. Cap staying back in, playing outside hitter again. He's getting warm and loose and ready. He looks good.
Then we're going to go to the new right side. That's Peter Namiotko, who's seen throughout the day.
Mitch going to continue to set. You know, let's see if we can. If I'm a Tyrant, I just want to make my passes a ball or 2 back off the net.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and I think we got a little more insight on all that. Olivia, take it away.
Yeah, Nick, as you mentioned, the only switch that Coach wanted to make for the Tyrants was Peters in for Dante, and on the opposite side, Coach was looking for consistency. He said they're really lacking confidence, so you see them going back to that lineup that they're used to and that they're comfortable with, and he's really looking for them to lead with that energy.
Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That's what we were talking about coming into this match. There is such an energy-based team over with the Matadors, and so when things kind of start to rattle and not go your way, some teams don't know how to maintain that level of intensity and energy. And, you know, we keep talking about how important it is that they're grinding over here on the side of the Tyrants. It wears you down as a hitter when you don't get easy points.
Right, absolutely, and it wears you down when you keep seeing you giving your best effort to see the libero or the other guy deflect or the blocker deflect it, the libero dig it, and it breaks you down over time, right?
Yeah. So we, you know, we saw some people going to some off-speed tips there for the Matadors, and I think they're trying to find the most confident lineup so you can challenge this block over here for the Tyrants. We see a float come in, Cap with the pass going up to the middle there, and that's a great stop by number 8 over there, Lazaro Fernandez. Big swing coming back from Jair, and that's the confidence. Jair is the guy right now I want on the court because he's a big physical presence. He's got a lot of volume, and I think a lot of those guys look to his experience.
Yeah, I think for the Matadors, you got to have the size on the court. Again, you know, from the point we made earlier, I think the Matadors are going to win the physicality right battle. And if you can continually attack at a higher point, statistically, you should be able to score more points faster, right?
Yep. That's a great ball. We're seeing Buffin stepping in to help pass, and big block touch there. That's a really confident swing that we're seeing there, though, from Peter Namiotko on the right side. Tooling cross court like that is not always easy to do, but good swing.
Yeah, I like seeing Peter come in and taking a couple of really good hits, you know, early on in this 3rd set. It's a good changeup for the Tyrants, and hopefully will cause some problems for the Matadors.
And, you know, this is something I've seen with Jair, though. Kind of we talk about not doing too much. In my experience playing with Jair, he sometimes will put a little too much on his shoulders. And if he's looking to make those big swings, he might start swinging long. So right now I'm really going to do everything I can if I'm the Tyrants to get in his head, pick on him, and see if you can take him out of the game.
Yeah, he needs to be smart as well. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be a bomb every single time.
Yep.
If he can't get his feet to the ball, he just needs to reach and snap it and be smart about his placement.
Yep. That was some great play at the net there by the Tyrants, able to squeeze it through. Well played by Cap. Nice serve by Buffum, handled well, but Encarnacion too far forward, and that's going to be a double. Oh, it's a lift, okay.
If I'm the Matadors right now, I'm getting a little bit worried just about the general mental strength of their squad.
Yeah, the aura.
Yes, start to see a couple of fractures maybe between guys. You know, don't see quite the same amount of energy or celebratory actions after a point.
And once again, wow, nice up there by the libero, saving that. Burrell with the great touch, that's live. Burgos keeps it up. Goes to the backside, Jair once again, and that's the 3rd block touch. Thomas Burrell is an all-star. This guy goes pin to pin to pin, back and forth, left to right to left. 3 in a row.
Putting up a wall all the way across the net, saying the ball is not coming on our side.
Not at all. Touch it 12 times in a row because I don't want it. And that's a huge testament, honestly, to the trust that Justin, their coach, has with these guys. He made that switch during game 2, knew that Burrell was going to be able to help contribute, and
absolutely. And
doing big things
for him, absolutely. So Matadors are forced to call a very early timeout at 6-3 in this 3rd set. And again, they're in a little bit of trouble. They need to find themselves. They need to come together as a team. Don't all go off onto their own little islands.
Yep.
Talk to each other, hold each other accountable for making smart decisions, and see if they can sort of, kind of turn this around. It's still really early in this game. There's plenty of time to do it, but it's got to be done now, or else you might see this thing sink really quickly.
Yeah, and I think the libero over there is going to be an anchor to help kind of be the starting point for that. There's the great pass, and he goes backside, and Jair with a big swing, but there's a no net gets called, and that's a free ball over from Buffum, and that's going to be a tip over, and Buffum's going to have his hands now, gets set to the outside, and big swing, but that goes wide from Peter on the right side here.
Hey, again, the Tyrants, they get the ball back over the net. Doesn't matter how ugly it is. It doesn't always have to be a full swing. They just get it over. Give their block and defense a chance to score a point.
Yep. And that's a good retaliation there from the Matadors. I was a little concerned after I was saying, if I'm the Tyrants, I'm trying to shut down Santiago, and they get 2 blocks on him in the same rally. One of them is terminal. But it's a good answer back from the Matadors, and we're going to see how he answers on the service line. He's able to get number 5 here. That's Ryan Alou. We've seen Ryan wavering a little bit more than we've seen all day. He's just getting some tough serves, finally breaking down, and also he set a pretty high bar for himself.
He does. And when you pass at 91% over a 4-game match early on, I mean, you did put yourself in a bit of a corner.
Yeah.
And expectations are definitely higher for him. But on the server's defense, they're putting some pressure on him too.
Yep.
So.
And that ball goes sailing long.
I love how Coach does a little arm swing technique teaching right after he misses the serve.
Mike Bastida lets him know.
That's twice I've seen him do that.
Big swing from Peter here, handle ball by the libero, and nice back set by Serrano, and that's going to be a swing into the corner by Santiago, touched in the back row there by Eddie, number 6.
I like riding him, giving him, get him involved. I mean, he clearly needs attempts. He needs to swing. He needs to hit in order to stay maybe focused, or at least in that mindset of, I'm 6'10", I've got an arm, I've got a cannon for an arm, keep setting me the ball. And he was outside of the sideline when he made contact with that serve, which is against the rules.
Interesting. That's I don't know that I've ever seen the side foot fault. I know it's a rule, but I don't know that I've ever seen that, especially on a floats. Or was he jump serving that?
That was a jump float serve, and there are these hash marks on each end and each side of the court that the server must be inside when he makes contact with the ball on his serve attempt. He was outside of the sideline hash mark. The far corner line judge saw it, called it, waved his flag. Clear infraction equals a point for the Tyrants, and that's just not a very good
absent-minded
mental play.
And that's a big swing from Cap, goes back to the Tyrants, and that's a swing out to the outside. And Eddie just chips that off the outside hands there of Serrano on the right side. And we talked about kind of playing chess earlier, knowing 2-3 moves ahead, and that missed serve not only is a silly missed serve, but it now puts Cap back on the back line. Yeah,
absolutely. And Coach is over here talking about blocking. We need to figure out how to pass this serve. Yeah, you let him off the hook on that one, but I mean, it's still early on in this set, so
it is.
Hopefully, the Matadors can figure it out a little bit, determine what they need to be focused on, and get it done.
Something that I think is really important. Going outside here, we're going to see Eddie just hitting a down ball in, and it's going to put the Matadors once again going back to Jair, and they're able to beat Thomas Burrell that time. But something I was just talking about during our last match with the Ramblers is it's so important not only when you're winning to obviously have a score lead, but don't look and feel like you're losing when you're winning the game. Have the energy up. You always want to have that energy going forward, and right now I want to see the Matadors start to step that energy up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. you know, adversity happens in this sport.
There's
the ball
a kick
doesn't always
dig.
bounce your way.
Goes to the outside, and Eddie is able to get a tool out of the back. But I don't want to, if I didn't know the score, I don't want to look out and think that I'm looking at a 5 or 6 point blowout. I want to think that, you know, you're winning even if you're down a couple points. And that's what we've seen the Matadors be so good at all weekend long. So I would challenge those guys to be able to do that right now. There's a clear net there from number 3, Mitch, unable to find himself out of the net. And that's going to be a good point for the Matadors there.
Yeah, I like the Matadors going quick a little bit more.
Yep.
I like them kind of riding their opposite hitter, front row and back row. He's going to be front row now for the next 3 rotations. Good solid serve there.
Yep, back set by Mitch. High swing by Peter. That is a heads up swing. Slow, smooth, finds the block and attacks it.
Look, yeah, that's just a smart high swing. Chisels off the hands, gets an easy point. Doesn't have to be straight down as hard as you can every single time. You're a smart volleyball player. You learn how to hit the ball off the other team's hands.
Good serve goes short, handled well by the Matadors. They go for that big to Encarnacion. And you know, this is another thing that we've actually seen quite a bit of is Encarnacion has phenomenal game 1 and game 2s. And as we get into that game 3 and game 4, he's kind of cooled off a lot. And the team tends to look for their right sides to turn it on then. But that can put the roster in a tough spot. Heads up block there, one-on-one, and we're seeing the back set there to Bustos, but it's Doug. Mitch pulls it out, and that's a chip down the line by Eddie. Set goes to the middle once again, and that is lipped up once again. You hate to see that. Buffum gets in the way after a great dig by the libero there with Ryan Alou.
So you love the middles when they score you points, and you hate them when they get in the way.
Yep.
He wanted to set the ball. Mitch wanted to set the ball. Unfortunately, they ran into each other, and 2 guys can't set the same ball. So
serve goes short, ball's up, and Tyrants go to the outside. Dug up well by the Matadors. Swing goes backside, swing by Jair, and he's going to throw that one down. That's where that size and physicality really pays off.
Yeah, that's definitely where that size pays off. I mean, the biggest guy on the court, he can take care of that ball that comes over on one. I like what you were saying about Encarnacion. I mean, he needs definitely to make a little bit more of an impact as we get into the second half of this 3rd set. I don't necessarily like the play where you run a 31 and a kind of a naked bick without spreading out the blockers. Keep going to the quick here. Set the middle a little bit more.
That's a big set outside, limited options. That's a tough one. You know, the liberos actually put up a lot of really, really good bump sets from pretty obscene distances, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think that one was a little bit too aggressive.
I'm okay with that error. I like the aggressive bump set error as opposed to an unhittable, not aggressive bump set in transition like that.
Sure.
Take the chance. Get the ball out there, which he did. And unfortunately, it might have been just a touch too far. But I like it. Keep doing what you're doing.
And as far as I'm concerned, he's already shown us that 3 or 4 times he'll put that where a hitter that's ready to hit can absolutely rip his bump set.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's on his pin hitters to be ready for him. Float goes short, handled by Cap. Set goes backside, and huge swing down the line, finds the middle and the chest, and that's going to be a ball going down against Martin Patrice there.
What is this, our 4th match of the day so far? And we've seen a lot of right side attacking.
Yep.
Have not seen a ton of right side attacking down the line.
Yeah.
And so we need to put a premium on that. That's very effective.
Absolutely, and especially when you got a middle back there when it's not the libero. Nice dig by Mitch, and that's going to go to Buffum that throws the ball tight. And once again, we're seeing the physicality from Jair. And Cap goes into either the net or under, but makes contact.
You know, it's a nice dig by Mitch. Buffum, I think, would want that one back a little bit.
Yep.
Leave the ball off the net a little bit. Let your boy Cap take a good, healthy cut at it. Don't trap him against the 6'10". You know, Jair. He's
Jair
a giant.
Santiago.
He's a giant on the court right
now.
He's got the size advantage. Give your team a chance. Take a healthy swing at it without trap sets.
And now with a 1 point lead, we see the Tyrants have 1 point lead, but the Matadors go opt for that double sub to keep setter back row. There's a net there by Mitch. Once again, just living in that tight ball world.
Look, the double sub is great, right? You keep 3 hitters across the front, but you know what's so key about the double sub is having a good aggressive serve from your setter that comes in to serve.
Yeah.
It puts the pressure on the other team, but it's also because you want to have that bigger blocker in the court.
Yeah, and we saw that early on yesterday. Kevin Rodriguez, their other setter that's in right now, net from the Tyrants. Yep, huge net over there. And we're going to see, you know, both of these setters were a blast to watch throughout the day yesterday, because when it gets tight, they make big physical swings. And same thing on the back line. But right now, we're going to see Matadors going for it all. They're bringing in Jake Milnaziak back into the lineup. So we're seeing Cap and Milnaziak back there, seeing what they can make happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's 15-14. The Matadors have gotten the momentum back. I maybe would have called a timeout, see if we could kind of slow it down that way. But as opposed to putting in your guy right off of the bench. Let's see how he responds, though.
Serve comes in, and I swear you're 3 for 3 today. That's a bit of that. You know, it's a tough spot when you're trying to slow a server down. You almost put your player in a vulnerable position when you're putting him back there as a target for a server that's hitting a good ball, as opposed to calling the timeout. Even if you want to sub out of the timeout, but slow him down as a team.
Yeah, I agree with that, Nick. That's a good point.
Then Milnaziak goes for the overpass there. That's see, now you've lost 2 points. You're going to call the same timeout, and you're having to worry about Milnaziak just having overpassed 2 balls. And I think that it's a little bit of a double whammy that really you could have maybe avoided. Not saying it necessarily, but
right. Yeah, it's situational, you know. And look, we're sitting here watching and talking about it. We're not in the moment over there. We don't know, you know, the dynamics of the team or, you know, any of those sorts of things. But it's easy to criticize. But yeah, call a timeout. Yeah. Try to ice your server over there. See what he does out of that timeout. If he comes back and scores 2 more points, then put a sub in. See if you can stop him that way. Give him a different look. But hey, we're not the coaches. Yep. We're just talking on air here on a live stream and trying to give a little insight to all those viewers out there.
You know, and I think that's one thing that it's a little bit delayed that I'm talking about it here, but I do want to give some credit where I think credit is due. Eddie Kiesicker, there was a lot of plays while he was in the court. I thought he was doing a very good job of dealing with sporadic balls, and when he was taking tips, chops, free balling balls, I think he was continuously putting the Matadors in a position that they had to be mindful, but they weren't getting just easy free balls.
Yeah, I agree. I think Eddie did a great job in his role out there. I think it was just sort of situational that the substitution was for him. I don't think he did anything wrong.
Yep, I agree. That's going to be a good serve, but the tape slows it down, makes it a little bit easier. Set goes back too far, though, for the Tyrants to really take advantage of. And the Matadors are kind of just finding that rhythm. And right now, if I'm the Tyrants, I'm doing anything I can to find a way to break this momentum, because their energy is infectious.
Tough spot right now for the Tyrants. I mean, they're getting kind of pushed up against the wall. I mean, they're getting pressure from the end line on the service game. A couple easy points with some bad passes, and then can't score points on offense.
Yep, and there's the pass they want. Go outside, and Cap's still off balance, so not quite the set. And Vanderbeek with his turn to take a big swing. And now I think the Matadors are back in full effect. They are firing on all cylinders right now.
I don't want to highlight the negatives, but I really think Mitch should have gone quick on that first set.
Yep.
You haven't gone quick. You haven't had the opportunity to go quick in a few serves because it literally been spraying passes all over the place. Set quick, give your middle, throw him a bone, and see if you can get the quick point.
Yeah, especially with that cutback that we've been seeing Thomas Burrell hit so well. They're not just points, they're bounces. And there's a big serve, but handled well by Cap. Set goes out, and Cap's able to chisel, but it doesn't look like it connects there.
Yeah, and this snowball is just kind of getting a little bit bigger here. Well, there's not much Coach Justin can do at this point. Maybe make another substitution just to try to slow down the momentum, which now would be the time to do it, or take a second timeout since it's 2014.
Hey, you said it earlier. When we saw Blaze struggling and I was talking about all these different things, you said one simple solution. I'm looking at my setter. I think a substitution there might just give the team a little bit of a different look and find a way to succeed. But as we say that, he goes right to the middle, finds a great connection. Thomas Burrell over the top, one-on-one. And
if he would have done it 2 plays earlier.
Yep.
Again, easy to critique when you're sitting here watching.
Easy to be sitting here in hindsight as we warm fuzzy chairs.
I don't know. They're not warm or fuzzy.
That's a gap out. That's getting stopped by Burrell, and it's going to go Encarnacion. Goes a tip over the top. That's picked up as a pancake, and set goes tight. But there's a big aggressive swing, and they're looking for. There's a big. Mitch is able to pull that ball out. Once again, team Never Say Die, and they find a swing on that. Are you kidding me?
The Tennessee Scrappers back in full effect.
Jake Milnaziak doesn't want a free ball over. He wants to hit the one-handed dig off of someone else's one-handed dig, and that might be one of the best rallies we've seen in terms of, just scrappiness.
Effort level is tip-top. Unfortunately, Peter can't sustain it with that serve.
All right, so we're seeing Encarnacion go back on the service line here. Likes to float serve, might be going short to Cap here. Nope, goes cross court. Perfect pass from Libero. Dump, that's picked up. Nice bump set. Vanderbeek with a big swing. Not able to find a touch there. A little bit of a low inside-out swing that he wasn't quite driving through to the court that he wanted to there.
Yeah, I think that one might have got off his wrist a little bit more than his hand. Unfortunately, I don't think that set developed quite as far as Libero wanted it to either. It was a little bit of an inside trap set.
Yep. Cap with a big swing. Nice up by Encarnacion, gives him a chance, and Burgos has to set it short. Handled by the Tyrants, goes to the middle, and that's going to be set outside now. Touch is called, and we're seeing some good block touches here from the Matadors. Burrell tries once again. Matadors are scrapping now, giving their chance, and Burgos takes a swing. Cap keeps it live in the backside, and we go to the backswing here, and that ball is high and long.
Set your boy on the left side pin right now. Give him a chance. He's in the front row. He hasn't taken a swing yet.
Yep.
He scored 22 points last match. At this point in the match right now, at this point in the game, you got to give your guy, get him warmed up, get him going. Give him a chance to redeem himself from those first couple of serve-receive errors that he made, and give him a chance to swing and hit.
Yep. And now we see number 13, Carlos Serrano, in the court. Goes for a nice roll shot, handled well. And there's that big swing, but Jake is struggling to find his stride off the bench right now.
Yeah, I think Jake just needs a little bit more time to warm up. Unfortunately, I think this game's going to get away from the Tyrants here in 2 points until the end of the set. But, give the credit to the Matadors. So far, they've got the momentum back, and they're taking advantage of it.
And I think that's what's so impressive as we talk about between games 2 and 3, what do you do after they drop that set? And they're still subbing all sorts of guys in, giving different looks, and it just speaks to how deep that roster is, that they have confidence that different guys, different role players are ready to come in and make a change.
Yeah, you've got a bench as deep as they have. You know that you're going to have guys that want to get out there. Those guys are all passionate volleyball players. You can tell they've all got great energy, and they want to get a chance to come onto the court and take advantage of an opportunity if they get it. And their coach calls their number. That's what they're doing. You're not seeing anyone coming in tentative, being a little scared to do something. They're coming in and they're making an impact 100% full speed ahead.
Yeah, taking their chance, absolutely taking advantage of it. It's interesting. We see the Vanderbeek, after Santiago, I think, found his stride pretty well and was starting to score some points. We see Vanderbeek come in with that double sub once again, and Vanderbeek is picking down what Jair put up, and picking up what he put down. There you go.
Well, that double sub, worked out really well for the Matadors, and I believe Vanderbeek is now right front. So I take that back. Looks like he's middle front or right front, but it's set point nonetheless. I don't think that they're going to need to reverse the double sub at this point in this game.
Passed high by Cap. Serve goes backside. They go one more time, but we're seeing the same repeat. And that's going to be game 2 or game 3 going the way of the Matadors. That's a great win for the Matadors. They really answered that back.
You know what? Back early on in that set, I thought the Matadors were going to cash it in.
I did.
I really was concerned that they were sort of, like I said, they were fractioning off. They were all going out to their little islands, and we were going to see, some disarray.
Yes.
And the Tyrants were going to take advantage of that. The Tyrants didn't necessarily let up, but more so the Matadors turned it around.
Yeah.
They came back together. They got some momentum. They rode that momentum, which is what they tend to do.
Yeah.
And then they took full advantage of it, and it resulted in a nice run on the double sub, gave them a good cushion, and they pulled away, you know?
Yeah, and you know, I think what's really, really important there is when you see, we're saying Jair is really their go-to to kind of start turning that around. We say focus on the pass, get a good ball. And Jair's going to make some errors, but what really was impressive is the rest of the team stopped hitting errors and allowed him to be the big guy to bring them back in the match. So if he makes some swings that he's going for a big swing and gets stopped, that's okay. The whole team is there to support him, and they're not making mistakes.
Right.
And that allows them to start creating a positive lead because he's going to hit for more positive than negative.
Those are good adjustments by those guys over there, and I think it starts with a coach. You know, he's got to call his guys out and be like, listen, no more dumb mistakes. Be disciplined. Create a couple of points. Enjoy that momentum. Feed the emotions off that momentum and carry it into producing points. And that's what I believe happened right there.
Absolutely. It was definitely an impressive team dynamic change over on the Matadors, just 1 point at a time, and you could see them slowly getting that confidence back that Olivia mentioned. You know, they were a little tentative and some confidence was shaken there, and they found a way in the middle of the game. We got to see them rebuilding that. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to see how the Tyrants come back, who they put out on their court personnel-wise.
I'm expecting to see a new right side for them here. And yeah, there it goes. We're going to see Eddie coming back in. He's going to be on the right side.
Yep. So that's going to be a similar look to what we saw earlier today.
Yep.
With Eddie on the right as opposite with Jake and Cap at the outside hitter positions. Mitch staying in the set. I like that. I think he's done a good job. I just think that the passes still could be a ball or two off of the net and give him a chance to put up a good settable ball without having to reach at the top of his jump to get a ball out to the front.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, I like that look, just like you said, because, you know, Ryan Kenny, the other setter, #1, guy runs a great offense, but that is not to take anything away from Mitch. Mitch's been doing a great job, but he's not been quite getting the same passes that Ryan was getting.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. And that's credit over to the Matadors for the pressure that they're putting on them from the inline.
Yeah, I think this is the most pressure we've seen the Tyrants have all tournament long. I don't think the Stingers put anywhere near as much pressure, and you know, Blaze didn't either.
No, they did not. The Blaze
serving
let them off the hook a lot with their serves earlier today, and the Matadors are definitely putting the pressure on them and making sure they're on their heels, kind of leaning back as they're starting to serve these strong jump serves.
And I think it's impressive for two of the smallest guys on the court between the two setters. That's #12, Kevin Rodriguez, and the #3, Jesus Serrano. They're some of the most aggressive servers. Coming back here and just ripping deep jump serves like that is a great way to set your team up for success. Cap goes deep into the corner, picked up, and we see that bump set from Libero and funnels down the front, and Cap and Munger unable to hold that one.
So I really like what Coach did right here for the Matadors. He put the same group of guys out in the same exact rotation that they last served in.
Yeah.
So you have your same jump server. You've got Vanderbeek in the front. You're basically putting the Tyrants, showing them the same exact thing that they just saw on that 6-point scoring run that they had.
Yeah, very, very, very astute point. Looking for that 4-4 swing, and Cap not quite finding it. And right now we're going to see Tyrants are going to be trying to find their system all over again, because no one's kind of hitting the easy kills, or what's looked easy for them all tournament long. So
yeah, and again, I think it's pressure from the inline, from the Matadors.
Absolutely.
They're forcing them to almost play defense off these serves.
Yeah, Rodriguez is hammering these serves, and that's a good set. Great blocking move there. High ball out and jam down the line. That's the stuff I was talking about with Eddie that I thought he was doing really well. He's not taking dumb swings. He knows when to challenge and how to challenge.
Yeah, he's changing up his choices. He's being aware of the situation.
But I think we're getting a little more insight here. Olivia, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Nick. Coach is going to like what he saw right there on that last kill. He said between sets, he said our first touch looks great, but we really need to make sure we aren't committing to one hitter. We need to read the Matadors and adjust. Nick?
Makes a lot of sense, and I think right now one of those things that we're seeing is, you know, the right side in general, whoever is over there is really kind of scoring uncontested for the Matadors. Even though that was the outside, that was Burgos over there, or that was Bustos, he was able to score, you know, quite effectively, and we've seen Vanderbeek and Santiago. Everyone's getting their licks in from that side.
Yeah, opposite right side heavy attacking by the Matadors for sure. I haven't seen a lot of quick attacks or even any back rows. They've just been heavily relying on their opposites.
That's a great hustle ball by Vanderbeek to track that down, and we're seeing some big swings, and that's a nice dig by the libero. Middle tip comes through, Mitch is out. Setter comes, or the libero comes in, tosses tight, and that's going to be covered up. Vanderbeek playing a good block there. Not quite ready to take a swing. There's Jake Milnaziak.
That's indicative of Jake's performance in his last set.
Yep.
You know, he came in halfway through the third set. Wasn't ready to hit that ball.
Nope.
It was not an option. Shouldn't have been set. And he can make a smarter choice than what he did.
Yep. Going outside though, and Cap looking for the big swing, but that is just the Matadors libero right there. Malero just showcasing his skill.
Smart swing by Cap over there on the left side, just to chop it down the line.
Yep.
Great dig by the libero for the Matadors for sure.
And to be one up though, I do want to give Vanderbeek some credit because he took a lot of court and really forced the chop down the line. And to be one-on-one, that's some good court protection.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. That's a smart point.
Nice pass, putting them in system and a little off speed for Encarnacion. Big set out of the middle. That's a great touch block there by Patrice. Chopped down the line, picked up by the Matadors. Back set goes up. Vanderbeek tries to hammer a ball, and we finally see that side get shut down. Cap and working with some Thomas Burrell effort there.
That's the first block we've seen by the Tyrants in a little while,
Yeah.
actually. And it's nice to see. That was a good move. You know, kind of the Matadors have been swinging with some very high confidence levels.
Yep.
And the Tyrants needed that block for sure.
Encarnacion looks like he's still having a little disconnect with the setter here. He's not quite finding it. Cap goes to the D ball there. A nice swing by Eddie, but that's going to be dug and once again pulled back. That ball is called live. And I personally thought it was out. I thought it was clean.
It was outside the antenna. There's nothing that the down ref can do about it. I mean, he didn't have the angle. He can only call what he sees. He didn't see it.
But if it's outside, that's legal, right? That's what you want.
No, the ball that Encarnacion sent back was over and inside the antenna.
Oh, it was over and inside.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the illegal part of it. But the down ref had no view of that.
Right.
And there's just no one to call that.
That's just one of those weird rulings. For anyone unaware of what we're talking about, it's a ruling called pursuit. So if you overpass a ball and it goes past halfway outside of the net, you're able to chase the ball as long as it's outside the antenna, and you have to bring it back inside. If I'm saying that correctly? It has to go out through the pins.
And then go back the same direction.
Gotcha.
Same side of the antenna as it went.
So it's a pretty rare circumstance that it occurs, so it always becomes a discussion point when it comes up. It's a pretty hard thing to make it happen.
But if it goes over the net and inside the antenna and out of bounds, it's not pursuable. It has to be a ball that is played outside of the antenna. Okay, it's outside the playing actual space of the court.
Big jump serve from Cap there, put up high, and we're going to see a free ball coming from Matadors. Goes short, handled in the back set. Cap hammers the D ball there. Big swing, and that's Thomas Burrell closing once again, and that's what you want to see. But Encarnacion still not connecting.
Good high level right there. I mean, that was a nice rally. We saw some good digs with no blockers up. So a nice, well-formed block, you know, that stuffed that down for the point.
It really speaks to Cap, though. This is that rotation where you see him in right back, and they're keeping, since Eddie's comfort level is generally as an outside, they're putting Cap in right back, and he hits that D ball. It just speaks to his abilities, but he's going to send that one long.
Yeah, Cap's still trying to find his serve here, his serve technique. It hasn't been quite the same as it was earlier today, but there's still some time here. 6-5 early in the fourth set.
We got Vanderbeek on the back line, so no double sub occurring here. They're going to hold that probably for another rotation or two if they want it. Big jump serve out of Vanderbeek, handled well. It's going to go to the outside, and that is called out. The troubles seem to continue for Jake Milnaziak.
Yeah, Jake was doing that's his normal swing. He was looking for a high hands, a little deflection or a fingertip, and just missed.
I think he's got to account for how small that block is up there with Kevin Rodriguez.
It was the right attack line. Try to go over that little blocker out there.
Good pass there by Cap, goes outside, and Milnaziak's able to find a decent swing, but the Matadors are playing some great defense, keep that alive, and now we see Eddie able to finish that off.
Good swing by the opposite there. Eddie took advantage of the opportunity, had one blocker in front of him. He was able to find the cross-court kill.
We see some good off-block defense there, though, by number 2, Christian Encarnacion.
Yeah, the Matadors have, sorry to cut you off, the Matadors have definitely stepped up their defense. And the Tyrants are letting them off the hook. That's a few missed serves right here.
Three missed serves, yeah.
In this fourth game.
And, you know, earlier we were talking about Jose Malero, and I think right now, honestly, he's been one of the most important parts of this team. As a libero, he's been an absolute rock, making sure that those guys are in system and finding ways to be successful.
Well, of the guys on the court, he's pretty much the only one that's been in the entire match.
Yeah, true. That's a good little chop. It's a way to find some momentum forward for Jake Milnaziak. And that's going to put setter number 3, Mitch, on the back line. Float down, handled. Gives only one option for the setter. Eddie pulls his block, but that's a good touch by Munger, and that's going to be a net called. Yeah, that's definitely a net call.
I thought that was maybe the hitter, but.
Oh, did you see the hitter?
I thought that was maybe the hitter's arm follow through, but bang bang play. It's hard to say. It's pretty.
Yeah, like I said, without the challenge system there.
The Tyrants look a little bit of disarray.
Yep.
They need to find themselves a little bit, and being down 3 points here in the fourth.
It's a good pass there. It's going to go to the outside, and Eddie's able to find a kill.
Eddie's been a good, consistent offensive player so far for the Tyrants. I know he got a little bit of rest in that third set, which looks like it could have helped. But I would keep feeding him the ball. He's doing a good job, and if you're not going to set the middle, keep going to your horse. You're getting some points production from him. Keep giving him the ball. Let
Jake try to find a way to contribute defensively in other ways, but. Right now, we need to see those guys go from green light that they've been on all tournament to a bit of a yellow. Pause it, find that 70%, work on some serving progression that we talked about earlier today.
Yeah, find the court, find the good stroke, give it a good snap, get it in the court, make the Matadors earn these points.
Same way I was critical earlier, now you're putting one of the biggest servers for the Matadors on the back line. Yeah. Unfortunately, that one goes long, but I mean, he's got 3 or 4 rotations under his belt where he's gone back and put off 3-4 serves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're seeing that that serving sub coming in with Matt Buffum, and Buffum regularly puts up 3 serve runs here and plays some great defense back row. So we'll see if he's able to do that now. Great float serve down the line. He's going to get a free ball back, and that's going to be taken in the middle by Burrell. Goes backside, and there's Eddie once again getting involved. So, Buffum is proving to be one of the most effective serving subs I've seen all tournament by any team, and he's a middle.
He's a middle blocker, yeah. I think he's doing a great job of keeping the ball in play, making the Matadors earn, the attempt. And in that situation, Eddie with a great transition swing from the right side for a big point that his team needs.
Another good serve there, but they're going to be in system. Goes to the middle, tries to be a jam, and good touch block. Set goes up, and he gets rewarded. That's hard work for Thomas Burrell. Gets rewarded with the setback, and I love that transition middle set.
I do too. I mean, reward your guy for working hard. Okay, got a nice block touch on the first one. Ball came back over. Feed him. Give him a reward. Say, keep working for me, big man. Here's a set.
And there's Buffum finding his third set, or the third serve. So it's like I said, he's finding 2, 3, 4 serves every time. And what I'm curious to see now, though, we don't see a sub that pulls him out. So I wonder if they're going to be keeping him in and keeping Munger on the bench.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's probably going to stay in, just kind of based on the communication between the two of them.
Yep.
Prior to that substitution, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, we've seen it work for him so far. And once again, I want to give a lot of credit right now, Mitch. Mitch knows where his guy is, and he is putting set after set into Eddie's window, and Eddie is using every one of them.
Yep. I like Eddie's swinging on the right side right now. I'm going to need to see him hit a little bit of line here and there too, throwing in, but a few too many times of the well, the cross-court attack could get picked up here as this game goes on and progresses.
And that's an interesting sub. I think that they're really looking for Dan Nugent's aggression there. And once again, your favorite phrase, letting them off the hook. That is just not the move. But they're going right back out, and that's Dan not getting done what they want there.
Yeah, I'm not sure I approve of that.
Yeah.
Strategy move right there. Did not pay off for the Tyrants.
Short serve, handled well, and we're going to be seeing a ball go to the outside here. And that's Cap, gets a big swing, breaks the platform, and I think that ball could have got another touch there. I want to see that lay out from the middle.
Yeah, could have tried to play that one back, but you know what? Right now we need to see something from the Tyrants, and he's number 9.
Yep.
We need some points produced from Jake.
Yep.
All right, in order for the Tyrants to have a hope of winning this game and taking it to a set 5,
Yep.
tiebreaker. So.
There's a little float serve and going tight, but that's going back to Vanderbeek, and Vanderbeek keeps it alive and it's going to be thrown, and you're going to see the Tyrants getting it. Wow, that's a deep send. That's a great ball. And once again, another big block touch there by Mitch. Well done, goes to the outside, and Encarnacion is able to finally finish that off. But once again, you want to be really happy about that, but the Tyrants are just not making it easy. And when you're at 13-13, this is the one thing I was curious if we were going to see, though, is I think the Matadors were starting to get a little flat as the Tyrants were starting to kind of heat up. I want to see Santiago coming back into this game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I mean, he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with here throughout the rest of this set. It's a good strategy that the coach is employing right here, pulling the double sub for the second half of the game based on the score. He brings some fresh legs in. I mean, they got a chance to rest. You got a great matchup there in Jair against Jake. I like the size-wise, but we got to make that serve and give ourselves a chance to stop a point, stop a block.
I think we're seeing some aggressive substitutions from the coaches, really trying to swing something in their advantage. And I'm not sure they've worked out just yet, but I like the idea that we're seeing from the coaches. I just want to see the players execute a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not easy to come off the bench and serve, but net violation on Jake.
Yeah, early part of this match was Matadors being aggressive finding nets, and now we've got a couple calls going against the Matadors here. And
yeah, I think Jake and Matt Buffum kind of had a little bump under the net there after they came down from blocking, and so Jake's momentum just kind of carried him into the net. Unfortunate mistake.
Encarnacion, float serve goes long.
Yeah, that's one way to get it back. So 15 all. We're halfway through.
Yep.
Set number 4. 10 points to either force a game 5 or wrap up this match.
Yep. Mitch serves short, too short.
Tyrants have had a hard time with their serves this match.
Yeah,
I don't like that choice.
I think that's 5 errors so far.
I don't like that choice at all. I want to see a serve go back to the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're trying to thread the needle so finely that you miss it like that. But give the team a chance.
Yep, there's a decent pass and going back and trying to find Jake a chance, but he finally finds that touch.
All right. That's a promising sign. Unfortunately, he's going to the back row right now.
Yep.
So
but,
no more point scoring opportunities for him out of the front row for another 3 rotations. So can he keep contributing from the inline? Let's see how this goes.
I also want to see him ready to swing out of the back row. We saw him running that Bick attack earlier, and we've also seen him. That's a back row attack, if I'm not mistaken. Oh wow!
You call him over or a net? I think you called the net.
Net. Okay, that's fine.
I didn't think the ball had broken the plane to be a back row attacker.
Yeah.
I thought he did net, unfortunately.
I was just confused because I didn't see the net. I was thinking, what else could you be calling?
Yeah.
But, if Dan is able to find a little bit of rhythm back row, but I want to see him ready to swing because he's had a couple Bicks get tossed up that he wasn't ready for.
Right. Yeah. If the Tyrants want to go 5 and have a chance of winning this match, they're going to need Jake to produce some points for him here.
Big swing from Cap on the outside, goes hard angle, and I think that's one of the first digs we've seen that Malero was not able to bring up.
Yeah, that was a nice swing. A little too much heat. Hit that ball down in front of the 5-5 libero for the Matadors.
Yep, now we're going to see Buffum on the back line once again and see if he can go for one of those 2-serve runs. That's a great flat serve, handled very well though, and that's, oh, I'll talk about this in a second with Serrano. That's a big swing here. So, something interesting that they do is another variation of this double sub. They trust their setter Serrano as a hitter, and so they'll leave him back row, and they leave 2 setters on the court. It's a pretty interesting tactic so that they're not burning another sub.
I don't think they have any more subs. I could be mistaken, but typically that double sub, you want to double sub out of it, right? Well, they do a single double sub, and Jair, when he goes back to serve, gets subbed out. The other setter comes in, and then the setter that was setting through the back row is now in the front row. He just got 2 sets, 2 attempts.
Yeah.
Didn't score a point on either of them.
Right.
So, you know, that strategy can work.
It worked for them yesterday, but clearly not the case here. I'm a little surprised, though, if that was their last sub, that they pulled Jair, not Serrano, because now you end up with 2 setters that are stuck on the court. I'd rather have a back row Jair I can throw a D-ball back to.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be an interesting way to see how it all shakes down.
Absolutely.
This set.
But once again, we're seeing Buffum push his runs. Oh, but
Jinx.
Caster, you know, play-by-play curse right there.
Jinx.
And just letting him off the hook. If you got that float serve, you got to put that in coming out of the timeout. Set goes back. Eddie goes just wide.
One too many times to the well on the cross court right side attack.
Yep.
I want to see Eddie swing at the line here. Matadors made a good adjustment. They moved their block inside because they know that that's his preference. That's what he wants to hit.
Yep. Good pass by Jake, and there it is. That's a nice swing. Thomas Burrell is by far the most offensive middle that the Tyrants have.
You know, Nick, we don't have stats, but he's got to be hitting somewhere in the neighborhood of above 600, I would think.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
He has not gotten blocked. If he gets a hit, it's a kill.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 digs or you know, zeros, but he's been highly efficient. I want to see more sets to him as we get going here.
Yep. And especially something like that is going to really unlock Cap and Jake, because the more you got to respect him, you're giving them 1-up.
I agree.
And when those guys have 1-up, they start going that hard angle, and they find it with a high percentage. So
yeah, and it's super important for those outside hitters that are maybe a little undersized to have 1 blocker in front of them.
Yeah.
So that comes from establishing your middle attack.
Back set, and there it is. Eddie showing once again he's the consummate pro here, but just had one unfortunate swing. But love that confidence that he's able to go back there once again, swing, put that D-ball away.
Yeah, nice back row attack by him. 20-20 game 4. Okay, race to 5. Cap serving could really use an ace right now.
And that's the error. That's the exact opposite. But you know, sometimes I think, interestingly, he goes from sideline straight down the line. He would give himself another 3 or 4 feet if he went corner to corner.
Okay, so that was your last substitution, I believe. Jair comes back in.
Yep.
Or that was his last. He did not have that substitution available.
I believe that's a yellow card. Yep, yellow card is assessed.
Yep.
That's not going to have any implication, though, just for the viewers at home. That yellow card is a warning, and no ball exchange and no point is awarded. So I believe that's awarded to the coach, though, Michael Bastida.
Okay, so Nick, and for all of our younger viewers at home watching right now that are setters, if you're Mitch, what are you doing right now?
I'm looking at where my blocker lineup is. I've got a mismatch number 12. I'm going outside. I still trust my guy. That's a great swing. Good dig in the back row, and Encarnacion goes up, swings, and Mitch looks like a hero when you get a block like that.
Great timing for a terminal block like that from the setter at Mitch. It was a nice 2-man block. It was a good attack by Eddie, for sure, out of the back row. But better block by Mitch for that point, and that's a clutch real point. Gets him tied at 21s.
We're going to see Burrell back again and floats. Great pass. They're going to be in system here, and there's a net. Mitch, you cannot go for a huge block like that and then go chasing a second one. And that's a set to
just a touch overzealous on that one.
Yeah, just a bit. That was, if I'm not mistaken, that was a set to number no, okay, that was number 6. Set goes back to outside. There's the hit or miss match, and that's what you're talking about right there. What do you see? You see the small set, or you go your pin?
Hey, I mean, at this point in the match, it's 22 all. You got to expose that as much as you get the opportunity to. But you also need to know that he's front row, and he's probably going to want to be involved too. So block and defense needs to know. Front row setter, get your hands up, get ready on defense.
Now, interestingly, if
they set him.
If that's what I'm saying, I mean, you got the confidence. That's what I was saying. Those guys have 2 very live arms. Both of these setters, they love to take their chances.
How tall is number 12? 5'10"?
Yeah, 5'10".
Hey,
honestly, sometimes as a blocker, when you see it coming from that low of point of contact, your blocking is not where you want it to be.
100% agree with you, yeah.
And once again, just inopportune missed serves.
Kicking myself over here watching these guys miss their serves.
Yeah, Coach Bastida is going to call the timeout there. Now, something I was wondering if we were going to see on that last point, since we've not seen a lot of success for Jake on the left side. Eddie's been swinging well. I was curious to see if they were going to swap Eddie and Jake, put Eddie on the left side for that mismatch, since he's been swinging such high percentage. They opted not to do it, but they for someone that has so many options with their lineup, I was seeing if they might try something a little tricky.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing Eddie take any attacks on the left side throughout this match.
Yeah, well, he started as an outside in the beginning of the match. He was there starting outside.
You're right, that's correct. So, short-term memories, you know.
Yeah, it happens. That's why I was curious to see is I believe Eddie is traditionally an outside hitter as well, and that's why sometimes you'll see when Cap and him are back row together, Cap will play the right back, and Eddie will take that middle back.
Right.
Either way, the fact that Eddie can swing both sides so effectively, and he's finding the success he is right now, it's really important for this Tyrant team. So.
Yeah, agreed.
Right now, though, I want to see if they're able to find a kill out of the middle with Matt Buffum in transition, get an easy one, open up the middle. We see the float serve now. Go for the little confidence. Well, it wasn't a set to Matt Buffum, but it was an overpass.
Big point. Jake with the jump float serve gives his team a chance, gets the overpass, and Buffum takes full advantage of it.
And sometimes if you can hit a good float serve like that, that is the most dangerous thing, because the team gets very comfortable passing all those jump serves. Hit him with a nice float, and you get the overpass. Return middle. Matadors want their turn to show.
I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think that pass was quite good enough to run it quick, but they were able to throw it in there.
That was handled well, and Patrice gave him a target early.
Tied at 24s.
We're going to see some extra innings here.
Yep. Extra volleyball.
But once again, this is a good place for Matadors to be. There's a big server on the back line. Handled well by Cap. Goes outside, and Cap takes his rip, and that's in. 4-4 at its finest. That is an impressive swing.
Yeah, great angle by Cap. Good aggressive swing. Number 6 ducked his head thinking it was out of bounds. I would like to see him stick in there and scoop that ball, give his team a chance to score a real point. But
I don't blame him either, though. That's that ball, looks like it's going out. That's an overpass, and that's how that game ends. For all the battling, that is the Tyrants just sticking in there and being persistent.
Yep. It's a game of momentum.
And we're going to 5.
We are getting our first 5th game of the day.
Yep.
The Matadors, they like the 5-game matches.
Oh,
don't
they do.
They had one last night, so at least a little consistent on that. Don't have to worry about what side you're going to start or finish on, since we're not flipping due to our COVID mandates here. But definitely, determining reception or serving order. I'd say if I win the flip, I'm going to take receive for sure. Not sure what happened there, but looks like the Tyrants will be serving first.
Got it.
Which is good. I'd like to see them come out and maybe have either Cap or Jake serving first. You hopefully get a couple of true points right out of the gate.
Yeah, and I think you highlighted this last time when the Matadors won. when Matadors came in last time, they kept exactly where they were at.
Yeah.
And so, you know, maybe right now with those float serves scoring 2 good points, I'm going right back to Jake on the back line, and he's not hitting very well. So that's going to optimize where your lineup is, keeps him out of the front row for as long as possible. You put Cap up there and let something happen.
Agreed. What do you think about the Matadors here? First 5-set match, okay? What are they going to come out with?
You need energy. Whoever is ready to go on that bench, it doesn't matter, honestly, for personnel for me. I think we need a lot of energy from those guys, and you know, Jair Santiago is my guy.
Yeah, he needs to be in the front row to start this 5th game for sure, and they need to feed him. They got to get him going, get his engine going, use that big, heavy arm of his, and produce some points that way for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Because, look, the team that starts better in the 5th set usually wins, right?
Yeah.
And they need to, each team needs to have a great start and hopefully ride it through this, you know, 5th set.
Definitely. So if I'm them, what I would be looking to do, we said the Tyrants are serving?
Yes.
So I'm going to rotate it back one. I'm going to put my setter in front right so that he's going to be my first server with Jair sitting there for 1 D-ball rotation. That way you're going to maximize him in the front row as you rotate. And as we've seen, the Matadors have great serving setters. Yeah. And so that way you're going to optimize a great server early on, getting Jair up front, getting a good matchup. And I think that's going to be the key to starting this team off.
Either way, this is going to be a good, close 5th game match right now.
And earlier you mentioned why do Matador sees a lot of game 5s, and I think the reason is really, really energetic team, and so when they're up, they are so dominant, and when they kind of start to stoop down, which is hard to maintain that energy for a full best of 5.
Yeah,
so when they start to stoop down, they've got to use a game or two to find their way back into it. So
right. I want to see how they respond too. If they do start down in this 5th set and the Tyrants do jump out to a quick early lead with their serve,
yeah,
you know, how do the Matadors respond?
Yeah.
Do they fight back? Do they swing back? Or do they start to kind of, you know, maybe get on each other? That positive emotion maybe kind of gets away from them, and some negativity sets in. It could, you know, tell the story too.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we are seeing the same lineup that we've been seeing there for the Matadors. Obviously, they've been doing a lot of subs, but we're seeing number 6, Diego Bustos as the 0-2 with next to Encarnacion. And if I'm not mistaken, that's Jair going to be in left back with the setter in right front. So they're lining up exactly where they want on this side out ball.
Yep. Good strategy. Good to see. Matadors setter looking at the matchups.
And that's going to be a float serve from Mitch. Set goes to the middle, and you know, no matter how much your team runs the middle, if you can start a game by going to your middle, it instills a lot of confidence in your passers as well as your,
and it also sets the tone for the game.
Yep.
Okay, we want to be quick. We want to score fast. We want to score often.
And I was curious to see, wow, that's, again, Eddie's shown that he is ready to play. He's been having a great couple games here. I was curious to see if Mitch was going to try to answer back with Thomas Burrell there out of his middle, but I think Eddie did just a great job there.
That was a nice, good, aggressive swing by Eddie. Doesn't always, not a very emotional player.
No.
He's very stoic on the court, but he's producing some good points.
There's a big swing. Jair's early and able to squeeze that through.
Yeah, snuck that between the middle blocker and the net there. I think that should have been a blocked ball. It was a bit of a trap set.
Yeah, I think he was almost, and he was so early, he was almost on the ground by the time that ball got to him. Yeah. But that's the advantage of being 6'10", right?
Right.
It's an easy float serve that's going to go straight into Burrell, and that's what we were looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Good quick attack, perfect pass. I mean, the blockers from the middles, they almost need to think about maybe committing here once in a while with the
And right now we got some insight. Olivia, what do you got?
Thanks, Nick. Curious to see what that serve looks like. Yep, another floater from the Tyrants. An important stat to note that I was able to take a look at during the break is that they have committed 24 service errors. So I'm looking for them to maybe dial it back a little bit, even though we're used to seeing them serve so aggressively.
Wow, that is very telling to see. That is 6 averaged missed serves per set. That is over 25% of your points.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a high number in a game of volleyball.
Or just under 25, I guess, to be correct. That's a little slap over the net by Eddie there. Big swing by Encarnacion. That's the energy you want to see. And you know, we're hearing the Matadors players on the bench starting to get that little bit of vibe back. And
yeah, that was an electrifying hit. That was inside the 10-foot line, sharp angle.
That's on the left hand of the off blocker.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's impressive. Short serve there, handled, and looking for a quick middle run. Buffum stays open to his setter, and Mitch feeds him over the shoulder from 9 feet off the net.
I like the faith. I like the faith in the connection there, throwing it in to Buffum. You know, he slaps it down for a point. High risk, high reward.
And now we're seeing the Tyrants show their double sub. In the game 5, I've not seen them do this yet. They're bringing Ryan Kenny into the back row to serve right now, and he's got some great hands. Hopefully we can see the same productivity out of Peter here. Decent pass. It's got to go to the pin, though, and Jair is your guy. Glad to see them trusting in him.
Yeah, that was a smart play. A good adjustment. It was a little bit of an inside set by Jair, but he did have that range. He was able to score the point. Now he goes back to serve. Let's see if he can produce a couple of points or at least some opportunities from the end line for his team.
Right now, I'm going seams left. He likes down the line, and I'm going to pinch and make him try to hit a sideline on me. Jair likes to hit balls into the middle of the court quite a bit, so you're going to protect that there. And I think that ball was going out, so it's a bit of a mistake to touch that one.
Hard to tell. I mean, obviously it's coming
close.
at a high rate of speed. You've got to make a split-second decision. I like him taking it if he's not 100% committed to be sure that it was out. And really, just one ball width, you know?
Yeah.
Could have come back and it would have been settable.
Yep. But that's the threat of Jair right there. He goes down the line. That's what I'm saying. You got to take that that aggressive line away from him. Good toss. That's a great pass, though. Backside and barely hits the tape. Cap unlucky. If he finds that if he doesn't hit the tape, but
go quick.
Yeah.
Set quick. That was a great pass.
Yeah.
Set quick. Feed your middles. Get the quick point. Go back and serve another ball. But
Burrell and Buffum have both shown very active arms, and I just think that that's kind of a disservice to them for how hard they've been working. Just get those guys involved. And you know, one of the things that I think has been really interesting, a lot of middles don't hit that cutback shot as well. And Burrell's been nothing but cutback, and he finally unloaded one wrist away out here in front of that libero. But that much range, when you're talking about, do the Matadors have to just commit someone to him? Make them do that. Make them make a decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm biased. I was a middle blocker. I mean, I wanted sets. I wanted to get as many sets as I could, especially in game 5. Like, I don't want to be on the court and not get sets.
Yep.
And then, you know, maybe lose the match, right? If he's working for you, feed him the ball, give him a chance to score a point.
Especially when they're both hitting at such high percentage.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jair's going on a nice service run right now. I mean, it's 7-3. If the Tyrants aren't careful, this match might get away from him right now.
Yeah. And there's a great timeout, though. You definitely don't want to go down by 5. You know, if you can close that to 3 on that point right there, you're still in a location that you can come back from.
Right, and again with no side changes. You know, traditionally there's a side change at 8.
No timeout, yeah. Or not a timeout, but no switch.
You know, everything's going to stay the same the way that it is. Then you got to take advantage of that.
That's passed well, and Jair is your guy. You asked what would I do? I said get Jair on the court and set that man the ball. And
just feed the big man. Ride him all the way home. Just ride him all the way. Scoring points for you from the service line. They can't stop him on his offense. They haven't blocked him.
Nope.
Just keep riding him.
And he's big enough he can put half that bench on the back. You know, he can, not all of them, that's a lot of people, but that was confident by Jake. I can't see how far out that was, but yeah, he was very sure that was going well.
That was a little Willie Mays, a.k.a. from the Major League back in the day. He was definitely sure it was going to be out. But
Buffum on the back line hits a nice short serve, and that goes to the backside. And Encarnacion is really stepping up here. He's been having some trouble in games, late game 3 and all game 4, I think, finding good swings.
That left side attack earlier, and then that swing out of the back row had some authority behind it.
Yep.
You like to see, I don't know if I like to see so much of your sets coming from the back row between Jair and Encarnacion, but nonetheless they're being effective. And so, you know, you got to ride your hot guys and keep them going.
And simultaneously, if they're really going to be able to be effective from the back row, then, you know, wait until they get front row and watch them go. But once again, we're seeing serving subs that I'm questioning the usage of.
Yeah, hard to say, you know, what the mentality is to these guys and what the coach tells them and say, okay, you're going to go in and serve. What kind of serve you want me to do, coach? You want me to just hit it hard? You want me to put it in? Like, you know, there needs to be some direction, you know. I mean, be on the same page. Maybe there is. We don't know it. I mean, that's not our responsibility, but obviously it'd be nice to see him put it in the court and give their team a chance for blocking defense and score a real point.
That's a little dump over the top, unable to be picked up by the Tyrants. That was pretty well hidden. He took that very low and was able to just kind of deliver it just over his shoulder.
I mean, I think the pass was taken pretty low too on the overhand. Maybe very well could have been called a lift, but nonetheless, nice play by number 3 there. You know, set over on 2.
Ball is good, and the Tyrants look to go outside. And there's Eddie once again. Eddie is your answer. If you're the Tyrants, you're feeding Eddie right now.
Eddie delivers. He's delivering. He's been delivering all match long. And yeah, you know, middles and Eddie, and see if you can get them back. Get it to 10-10, and anyone's game at the into the 5th set.
Hey, Cap and Jake have been carrying this team all weekend. Let those other guys have their time to shine. And
exactly.
That's a good pass, good set to the backside, and Bustos able to put that away.
The Tyrants need a block. The hitters for the Matadors right now are kind of swinging freely. I mean, they're just bombing away.
There's holes everywhere, and it's hard to defend around that too.
Tyrants need a nice stuff down block to kind of right the ship.
Yep. Good pass by Bustos. There it is. It's something simple like that.
Okay.
The back one in transition there, but they're able to just find a corner. And the Matadors were not ready to defend against that. So when Thomas Burrell just goes up, 30% shot to the corner, but no one's home.
Right. Now, good credit to him for being up and available as a hitter.
Absolutely. Now he's got a good float, but looks like Matadors are in system. They find, wow, that's a great dig by Thomas Burrell from the middle. And Cap goes up, and he's able to tool wide. And this is that run. You know, Tyrants have been one of the best teams all tournament long that they will steal games going late. They're just able to find 6-7 point runs.
They're sneaky. They're sneaky.
And at this level of men's volleyball, runs like that are almost unheard of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's a great float serve, and we might be putting our seatbelts on and taking a ride here, because
11-10.
That's a solid.
Take a timeout, coach. You got 2 of them.
But Burrell goes for a kill, and then goes and puts 2 serves back there. That's a middle finding impact in a game 5.
Absolutely. Picking on number 6 too.
Yep. Big swing from Jair, and that ball goes out, unable to lock it down by Cap. Once again, Jair Santiago shown to be the guy, and right now, I do not want to see that double sub come in. I want to see Jair stay on the court no matter what that means. That D-ball, whatever it is.
Yeah, you got to leave him in. I would think he's going to sub him out. Now, I'm not the coach. Maybe he will. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, I think you keep him in and keep feeding him.
I think there's not enough of a mismatch or a threat right now for the outsides that, well, Cap just tossed that one into the big man. But I don't think there's enough of a mismatch without Jake and Cap swinging on the left that you want to pull the setter.
No, I agree. I agree.
I think he'll do just fine up there handling them. And we got Eddie on the back line now with a float serve. Handled well by Bustos, goes to the outside. Encarnacion goes for a tip over his shoulder. That's a tough one to swallow. Encarnacion still just not on the same page.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a planned play like that, and they're going to do the double sub.
You know, to his credit, I guess that does put Vanderbeek front row, and Vanderbeek's been swinging very well. It's very rare to have 2 oppos that just produce the same way.
And Rodriguez from the inline has been consistent for the Matadors. So
yeah, so now that I see it, I actually don't hate it as much as I did in my head. But there's the big serve, but that goes out.
Yeah, the Tyrants are right there. They need a real point here. I'd like to see. I wouldn't be surprised if Cap jump floats. He's asking for permission right now from someone on his coaching staff.
He just got the thumbs up green light, though, I think. And, hey, if he's confident in it, this guy wins matches with this. Oh, it goes to the hybrid. Okay. That's a big swing. Huge dig to keep them in it. One-handed back set's nice. Deep swing. Well dug by Eddie. It's going to be set right back to him, and Eddie chops it down the line. This guy is single-handedly carrying the Tyrants into this match.
Delivering. Eddie delivers.
Not to be understated, number 5 from the Tyrants with That's Ryan Alou back there, and that guy digs everything. He lipped that ball down the line.
We hadn't said his name or number for a little while. I think he must have not heard us say his name, so he knew it was time to get a very clutch, important scoop, and he did, which resulted in a great transition set, and Eddie coming back up from the back row, right side attack for that point.
And, you know, one of our critiques all day long has been smart swings for some of these guys, and Eddie is doing that in droves. He sees the double block. He knows how to take a 60% swing, cut it sharp angle, and make the defense play.
Right.
And they're not doing it, so he's really seeing great results.
Agreed. Yeah, Eddie's been very consistent. You don't see him make the dumb error or try to hammer the ball as hard as he can out long or miss hit the ball. He's not dropping his elbow and hitting the ball into the net or off the tape. His effectiveness, his efficiency is probably pretty high for this match.
Oh, it's got to be. And now we're seeing the discussion happen where they're going to put Cap and Eddie in the back row, but I think they're going to keep Eddie in the right side for the D-ball attack. But the ball goes out, and Vanderbeek goes for a big swing. They adjust their call. They say touch, no touch. Line judge showed a touch immediately and pulls that back. And this is the Tyrants looking to steal a match away, just like we said. This is a team that's capable.
Scrapping. Match point for the Tyrants.
Who's your go-to here? I guess you go back to Encarnacion, but we're going to see how that goes. Vanderbeek goes up for a big swing, nice dig, and good ball, and there it is. Jake takes a swing into the triple block, and the back set comes through. Encarnacion swings and gets the tool. Encarnacion is not done playing just yet.
He says, we're not done. We're not done. Good high-level vault. We saw a three-man block.
Yeah, that's a great triple.
Great scoops. Look, neither one of these teams want to lose this match.
No,
they've worked hard for the last 2 hours. They don't want to go away.
Encarnacion goes with the float, short, handled well, goes up, middle attack, into the back set. That is the block. You know, it's tough, right? We sit here and eat our words, and we're saying get the middle, but at this point in the game, I think Eddie's your guy, even on that D-ball. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
hard
not.
to say. I mean, it was a good read by the Matadors blockers there. Good help from the left front blocker.
Finds a way to get in there, find the double block, and now you go up, and Jake swings and
delivers. Hey. This is a good high swing. He hasn't, you know,
he's been struggling, but
his attacking hasn't been that reliable. But that's a good, smart, like 90% swing to put it in the corner.
Oh yeah, and he knows how to be reliant and clutch right there. But now we see Buffum going back, and this is our runner here. So big swing, Buffum with the dig, nice and easy. They're in system. There's the middle attack. Burrell gets blocked. Free ball's going to be coming back. Oh, okay. I thought they were trying to call a lift there on.
They called him under.
Yeah. But
unfortunate. I mean, that's a great effort by the Tyrants. You know, I like him going quick in transition too. Good blocks. Just, you know, guys are working hard, you know.
Yep, Patrice is really number one over there. He's really staying home and finding good touches of his blocker here.
Match point for the Matadors.
And that's a good pass that's going to go outside, and Jake slams hard angle, and he finds it. Even though he goes through the tape, that gets a friendly bounce for him. And
I think the equipment for that one.
Yep. Whoever put this net up, throw him a 5.
Locked at 16, all in the 5th right now.
Yep. And that's a serve quick by Mitch, and we're going to go outside here for Bustos. Bustos goes high, and we get a slap dig. That's going to be Cap setting a ball to Jake. Jake goes hard 4-4. Doug, Eddie puts a ball up, but Mitch is stuck behind him, and Mitch is barely not under. That's a huge diving up by the libero. And now we're going to see a free ball coming over from Bustos. That's going to be a dig in the middle. Going backside, Eddie's your guy, goes high off hands. And there's a net by Bustos. That was extraordinary play from both sides, and Mitch did a fantastic job on that set, not going under.
I mean, his foot had a fraction of an inch still on the line, and 99% of it was over.
He got as close to going under as you can get, but he kept it clean. And they're going to force a timeout here, but
nice high-level effort by both teams. I mean,
there was some digs going on Matadors. Yeah.
Both teams scooping, both teams laying out. Mitch could use some oxygen right now. He's trying to catch his breath. His face is pretty red.
You know, I am constantly impressed by Ryan Alu's digs, not just that he's getting the digs, but he has gotten about 8 overhand double slap digs that just go perfectly back in the middle of the court. We saw a nice cap coming out of back center there with a bump set out to Jake. And that is impressive when you see so many guys finding ways to be dynamic. And, you know, we'll see if the Tyrants can close this out, but Matadors are not done fighting. There is still a lot going on over there, and we'll see if they might answer back.
Yeah, and they have some weapons that are ready to go. You've got Vanderbeek overhead.
I think that's got to be the set.
I think so, too. Back row setter. That was quick.
Great defense there by Mitch, and Eddie's going to send this one into the corner and force a ball from the libero, but it's a good ball. And another dig from the middle.
Oh, come on.
Ceiling, and Mitch gets it up. Mitch slides out the back of the court. Reset. Now they're going to try one more time. Vanderbeek on the back side, and that's your guy.
Finally gave it to the right hitter.
Yep.
I mean, I appreciate setting the middle twice in a row, but, you know, feed your hitter, your front row guy. He's an opposite. Great play, great heads-up play by the Tyrants to play it off of the girders up there.
Yeah, Mitch really busting his butt to get there.
Yep.
You know, Mitch honestly has been doing a lot of legwork this match, and I think it paid off on that one that we saw him almost go under, getting so many tight sets all day. He was having to be disciplined there and made it work for him.
Here we go, Matadors utilizing that last double sub, tied at 17 all. Jair back in the front row. Look to him to get a lot of sets right now.
You got a decent matchup because Eddie is still left front, so that's one of their biggest blockers in the front row in front of Jair, so you want to side out early.
Yep.
Jake unable to find that over the net, and that's going to be match point here for the Matadors.
I just saw Eddie stare at Mitch and say, set me the ball.
And every right to say that, honestly.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens. Match point, Matadors.
Good pass, and that's going to go, yeah, that's a good swing out of the middle, but that's not what they need. And Jair's going to put a big swing. Mitch, little miscommunication, and Eddie with a big swing. Wow. That was a heck of a set from Ryan Alu, coming underneath of Eddie, finds the bump set straight up.
Just like they drew it up?
Yep. Now, to be a little critical of the geometry here, there is one angle he can hit. I want to see the Matador shift into that.
Yeah.
It's a good play by Eddie.
Situational awareness, you know, that was a little bit of a chaos play.
Good set, goes to Encarnacion. He's been seeing a lot of success on that big route, and that's a really good run right there.
I like that choice. I think that's a smart play by them, setting him out of the back row.
It just gives your offense such a different look.
Yeah.
Because now you don't know where it's going.
Right, and I don't think you've set a lot of balls to Jair on the left. He's, you know, primarily a right side hitter. So match point, Matadors.
Good set, goes outside into the net. Tried to pull out, and it's going to be a free ball over, but that's going to be Mitch out and looking for a swing on 2, and Cap is unable to convert.
I didn't see a net. I thought it was the ball. I didn't see anyone touch the net. Little chaos.
Well, that is certainly a nail biter. I didn't see a net either.
Yeah.
So once again, team's just going to say good game through the net, and that's a final one, 2018. That is that match delivered an emotional roller coaster from start to finish.
Just say the fans got their money's worth.
Oh yeah, you know, sitting at home on their comfy couches watching a great game like that. Welcome to the NVA, folks.
That was the game of the day right there. I got to stand up and stretch a little bit.
Yeah, we've been over here for quite a while, and you know, I'm glad that we're not the ones that are responsible for picking a player of the match, because there was a lot of players throughout that really were showcasing a lot of talent. And, you know, to give credit, I think the position of opposite on the side of the Matadors, whether it was Vanderbeek or Jair, both of those guys really anchored the team.
So you're going to say first 5 set and then first co-MVP of the day?
No, you know where actually I'm looking more? Maybe the libero, and I think that's who we're seeing walk over there. That guy was all out all day long, and I think that he really balled out. And it's hard for a libero to get that honor, but I think his serve receive was nails. And, you know, it's just an emotional, when your team is so emotional and he's able to constantly grab his guys, bring them to the middle court and say, hey, don't worry.
Absolutely.
Let's get this, let's find it. And, you know, you've got so many substitutions, so he's got the entire world around him revolving.
Right.
But he anchored that team in.
Yeah.
That is very, very well deserved.
Yeah,
I love to see that.
His on-court composure for sure is a huge factor for that squad,
Yes.
and they need that out of him. He's definitely sort of the keel, right,
Yep.
of the ship, and keeps them balanced when you do have all those guys coming in and out, and the substitutions and the emotions and the personalities and everything else that's going on.
Yeah, and we were talking about before the match started, I was saying, you know, I love watching this guy. He's got all that swagger about him, and
yeah.
you saw it all match long, just an overwhelming confidence that he was the answer to whatever was going to be thrown at the defense for the Matadors.
Definitely Mr. Steady.
Yeah.
For sure.
So well earned, and you know, it was a treat for both to see both liberos go at it here. So let's hear it. I think Olivia's going to go ahead and take us to a little courtside interview. Olivia, all over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. What an exciting match. You held them off in 5. It was close at the end. What made the difference for your team?
I think we passed really good at the end of the game. I think they played really good also. And we keep calm all the game. So it was the key that we can win the match.
Yeah, you mentioned passing. You were great tonight. How are you seeing things back there?
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here. We practiced like 3 days only because I just came from Puerto Rico like 1 week ago. So it's so hard. We keep knowing each other. So I think it's the key at the end of the match, I think.
Yeah, you also mentioned energy. It was up and down tonight, but you were steady for your team. What was your message to the guys? I
think we had to keep playing hard every day. And that's going to be the difference at the end of the tournament. Yeah.
Christian Encarnacion, your team, he had 22 kills. How big was his performance?
He's a really good killer. Yeah, we just tried to help him to be free, like playing without the responsibility of passing. So that's the reason I think is the key. Right.
We saw so many different combinations of players on the court for you guys tonight. How big is the depth?
I'm sorry?
Depth. You have so many different options. How is that going to help you moving forward?
We think we have players in every position that is good because at the end of the tournament, everybody going to be healthy, and it is important in the long tournaments like this.
Yeah, winning such an exciting one like this, what does this do for you heading into tomorrow?
We have to play hard every day. That's a key that we can make better as a team. I think it's important to play hard every day.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks you.
Nick?
Wow, what a great interview. You get a little bit of that same personality just to hear, and kind of hearing his take and matching that to what we just saw as a performance on the court is really, really insightful. And but up next, we're going to be getting ready for I think it's one of the last matches on the national side, if I'm not mistaken, and that's going to be the Stunners and Team Freedom here. So this is a big one, and that's our 6 p.m. match here. So those teams are going to get ready, but I think that's going to do it for us. That's going to do it for me as well tonight, and I'll be back tomorrow. So, Matt, it's going to be all you, man.
Flying solo the rest of the night.
Yeah, you got it.
Hope I can maintain what you've done.
I think you're going to do a great job. NBA fans, stick around. We're going to have more great volleyball for you. We'll see you then.